par excellence. The magician aids us in our lifelong task of attaining a higher level of consciousness and of recognizing that higher power which is greater than ourselves. We are always in a process of transforming ourselves, others, and the objects in the world around us. For the magician, matter is energy, and energy is matter. As the law of conservation of energy states, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. The same might be applied to the eternal and immortal soul. Often everyday people unknowingly use the basic principles of magic and never think they are doing magic. We have all probably known people who emanate caring and peace, and sometimes we can feel better just by standing next to them. Conversely, we all know people whose inner world is chaotic and desperate, and that inner state affects people around them. The magician has control over the mystical laws, which are mirror reflections of the physical laws, as the Emerald Tablet teaches us, as above, so below, and as below, so above, to accomplish the marvels of the one work. The magician realizes that at a fundamental level, there exists a transcendent unitary world where inner and outer reality coexist, known as the Unus Mundus, the one world. The magical and sacred plane is not something that is above us and is inaccessible. On the contrary, it is immanent in ourselves, others, and the cosmos. The magician archetype provides a sense of connectedness with the whole, and an understanding that what is within us contains all that is outside ourselves. The microcosm and macrocosm mirror one another. Sometimes, the simplest of things contain the greatest magical effect. Our world is full of magic and wonder for those with eyes to see, and it is up to us to awaken ourselves to the true beauty of life. The order that we establish in our inner world corresponds to order in the external world. Thus, if we want a peaceful world, we must start with becoming peaceful ourselves. As we ourselves become healthier and more alive, each of us sets in motion a ripple effect in others. This expresses a fundamental truth that is shared by almost all the world religions. It is the golden rule: do to others as you would have them do unto you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. In the ancient Sanskrit epic poem, the Mahabharata, it is written, "One should never do that to another which one regards as injurious to one's own self." This, in brief, is the rule of Dharma. While Dharma expresses a virtuous life, the principle of karma supposes a relationship of cause and effect, whereby people's actions or deeds influence their future, as well as their rebirth. There appears to be a fundamental law of universal equilibrium in nature, so that what you do to others will come back to you. That is the divine energy inherent in every human being. As Newton's third law states, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. We are not only made to live in harmony with each other, but also interconnected with each other in a metaphysical sense. The Stoic philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius states, "What injures the hive injures the bee." When a man does wrong to another man, they are hurting themselves. What you do to others will come back to you, and this may go beyond our physical existence. In Hindu and Buddhist cosmology, Indra's net is an infinite cosmic net which contains a single glittering jewel in each eye of the net. And since the net itself is infinite in dimension, the jewels are infinite in number. Moreover, if we were to inspect and closely look at one of these jewels, we will discover that, in its polished surface, there are reflected all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Not only that, but each of the jewels reflected in this one jewel is also reflecting all the other jewels ad infinitum. The shamans perceive the world as a vast web of energy, to which all living beings are connected, the anima mundi, and the Melanesian and Polynesian cultures speak of mana, which is the extraordinary and compelling supernatural power which emanates from certain individuals, objects, action, and events, as well as from inhabitants of the spirit world. This concept has been popularized in role-playing games, representing energy used to perform magical abilities. Jung writes, "The mana personality is a dominant of the collective unconscious, the well-known archetype of the mighty man in the form of the hero, chief, magician, medicine man, saint, the ruler of men and spirits, the friend of God. So whatever else the magician archetype might be, it is clear that it is one instance of a mana personality. As a practitioner of black magic, the shadow magician has no interest in helping others, but rather controls or manipulates others for its own benefit. Whenever we are detached, unrelated, and withholding what we know could help others, whenever we use our knowledge as a weapon to belittle and control others, or to bolster our status or wealth at others' expense, we are identified with the shadow magician as manipulator. The dark magician's esoteric knowledge on his craft causes his ego to become inflated, and he takes advantage of others who have limited knowledge. As Lord Acton stated, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The shadow magician also has an Asclepius complex, a common form of inflation that comes from identifying with a healer archetype. He has no need for any personal relationship with the wounded. Taking on an archetype eliminates one's humanity, resulting in grandiose beliefs, megalomania, or a messiah complex. This is typical of charlatans, false prophets, or cult leaders. The dark magician believes that he is a god because he has the power to heal, and falls into hubris, considered as the worst of the 7 deadly sins. Because the power of the magician in each of us is so potentially great, integrating the shadow is essential, so that we do not consciously use our power for evil purposes. If we do not integrate our repressed content, they take on a monstrous form and possess us, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Perhaps because of the expression magic tricks, the archetype of the trickster comes immediately to mind when one thinks of the magician. In fact, Mercury and Hermes are both gods of tricksters, thieves, and magicians. When they are in their shadow side, they become illusionists, convincing others of overnight success or a magic pill to solve all problems, usually at high prices. This method of diverting people from their personal journeys to mindless consumerism is a major force of evil sorcery in our time. On the other hand, the prankishness of the trickster can serve to deflate an all too serious magician's personality. Both can shapeshift, create illusions, and confuse us with their sleight of hand. By making objects disappear, they can dramatize the simple truth that every object, everything, is but an appearance of reality. The underlying essence of the magical art is revelation. The magician has the power to reveal the basic structure underlying all appearance by stripping away the unnecessary details. Behind the 10,000 things, all is one. It is as if the trickster conceals this fundamental reality from us until we do the necessary inner work to realize the illusion of appearances. This is the veil of Maya, which conceals the true character of spiritual reality, creating the cosmic illusion that the phenomenal world is real. In Hinduism, we are part of the Supreme Being's Leela, divine play. All of reality is the outcome of the divine play of the Supreme Being, revealing the interconnectedness of all existence. The goal is to understand our role in this cosmic game, while realizing that the Atman, true self or essence, is identical to Brahman, unchanging and supreme reality. In Tarot, the magician is assigned number 1 and comes just after the Fool, who has the number 0. In the Marseille deck, the magician is called the Juggler. He appears as a young street performer holding a golden wand and wearing motley, the traditional costume of the court jester, trickster, or fool. The brim of his hat resembles a figure 8 lying on its side, the mathematical sign for infinity. In the Rider-Waite deck, the magician appears as a holy priest, discarding the aspects of the trickster. The hat has been replaced by the symbol for infinity, encompassing creation, preservation, and destruction, the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. This may be a hint about the endlessness of the powers of magic. The number 1 symbolizes undifferentiated totality, out of which comes the 2, the opposites, a necessary conflict for the possibility of consciousness, which defines the human being. Elevation, however, is motion toward unity. The magician's task is to unite with the one source, from where we all come from and will return, when the time is right. In Kabbalah, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, symbolizes the oneness of God. The magician points one hand with a wand to the sky and the other hand to the earth, as above, so below, or as Jesus said in the Lord's Prayer, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." The sky, inspiration, dreaming, vision, is grounded in the facts of everyday existence. Both are equally important. Real power comes from recognizing our dependence on the earth, on other people, and on our spiritual source. Thus, many traditional shamans begin their work by consciously connecting with and thanking the earth, the 4 directions, the people they love most, including their teacher, and finally the spiritual power they serve. In the Red Book, Jung dedicates a chapter to the magician. He meets Philemon, his inner wise old man and magician. When Jung talks to him about what magic is, Philemon replies that magic happens to be precisely everything that eludes comprehension. One cannot understand magic. One can only understand what accords with reason. Magic accords with unreason, which one cannot understand. Jung writes, "The practice of magic consists in making what is not understood understandable in an incomprehensible manner." Magic will never be lost to humanity, since it is reborn with each and every one of us. We need magic to be able to receive or invoke the messenger and the communication of the incomprehensible. We must accept that the world comprises reason and unreason, and that magic remains a mystery until one attains gnosis. Then one might say, as Jung did when asked if he believed in God, "I don't need to believe, I know." Jung writes, "This magical power allows itself to be neither taught nor learned. Either one has it or does not have it. Now I know your final mystery. You are a lover. You have succeeded in uniting what has been sundered, that is, binding together the above and below. Have we not known this for a long time? Yes, we knew it. No, we did not know it. It has always been this way, and yet it has never been thus. Why did I have to wander such long roads before I came to Philemon, if he was going to teach me what has been common knowledge for ages? Alas, we have known everything since time immemorial, and yet we will never know it until it has been accomplished. Who exhausts the mystery of love?" If we listen to our inner voice, conscience, or intuition, despite our awareness that others might think what we're doing is crazy, we awaken the inner magician. The magician's path is a lonely one. By delving into one's own psyche and inner images, one can bring the unknown into the known, the unconscious into consciousness. That is magic, and that is the purpose of Jungian psychology. When we dedicate time, energy, and resources to something, cooking, music, painting, writing, etc., we're working on integrating the magician archetype, which is part of the individuation process. The magician not only works on perfecting his art for practical purposes, but also has extensive knowledge about it and its connection with one's way of life. Much of our inner negativity results from repression. The issue is not to get rid of it, but to transform it by allowing it to resurface, be acknowledged, and take on a new form. It is possible to learn to transform emotional energy once we learn to feel our feelings fully. We can see this in our personal relationships when we talk through our pain or anger and come out the other side feeling more intimate and loving than before. When a person opens to feel with another person's pain and move through it with the other person, it is often the case that both feel better in the end. The power of words is evident in psychoanalysis, the talking cure. We know the problems in our outer life reflect our inner state, but it can be very painful when we are incapable of healing ourselves. The highest form of healing is the balance between body, soul, and spirit, good nutrition and exercise, a connection with our innermost self, and staying true to our spiritual source. Often magic is as simple as prayer. Many magicians simply ask for what is needed: health, forgiveness, transformation, resources. As long as it is reasonable and within the humanly possible, one can attain it. The answer comes from the wisdom of a power greater than one's own. Hence the saying in Matthew 7:7, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." Interestingly, the number 7 is considered the most mystical of all numbers, symbolizing fullness and completion, as it is the day God finished his work, blessed it, and rested. It is the most repeated number in the Bible. All of the great inventions and wonders of the world first existed as images in the unconscious. As we paid attention to them, we brought them into consciousness and solidified them into the external world. The magician brings the realm of fantasy and imagination into reality. By visualizing it, he creates it. In numerology, this corresponds to the master number 22, Master Builder, who is the most capable of all in making his or her dreams come to fruition. To some extent, thoughts create reality. Belief is not trivial. it has tangible results. The power of the mind can even heal sickness, as is seen in placebo-controlled studies. In New Age thought, the law of attraction supposes that positive thoughts bring positive results, and negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. Psychologically, however, it is too one-sided. We must not impose our will on reality, but surrender to both the positive and the negative, which must coexist. For that is the fundamental reality of the human condition. It is their synthesis, not the repression of the negativity, that brings about the fullness of being, of psychic wholeness, balance, and harmony. Positive thinking should never be used to avoid responsibility for the harm you do to yourself or others. When we do harm, we need to ask for forgiveness. When we can do so honestly, we should also make amends in some way. The magician always practices some kind of ritual. Rituals express a change in commitment and help us experience a sense of connectedness. And rituals repeated over time connect us with our historical ancestors. Individuals and traditions differ on the details of such practices: meditation, active imagination, prayer, and theogens, etc. Psychologically, the idea is to align your consciousness with your unconscious, so that your unique story may be unfolded in life. Like fruits and flowers, our life experiences are products of nature. They grow spontaneously in our garden, awaiting discovery for the nourishment of our soul. The magician journeys to another world through altered states of consciousness. We all enter these altered states, but most of us choose not to become very conscious of them. These, however, open us to a deeper wisdom and a connection with the transpersonal that greatly improves the quality of the rest of our lives. One way to awaken the magician within is simply to become conscious as we enter these other planes of reality. Synchronicities become more frequent. Inner images suddenly materialize in our outer reality without any causal connection, just as if we had conjured them forth, or as if the synchronistic event must hold a special message for us. How one goes about decoding the meaning of such an event is part of the integration of the magician archetype. Many people attempt to meditate and implant favorable images in the unconscious by self-hypnosis or other techniques. However, one cannot manipulate the activities of the unconscious by willpower. The unconscious is, by definition, unconscious. A more useful technique, as has been practiced since ancient times, is to simply observe one's inner thoughts, feelings, and images, and allow whatever pictures to appear in the mind's eye. The inner magician can help us become aware of the visions of power that exist within us, so that we can bring them into reality, or transform the repressed contents into something beautiful, for the magician can turn the ordinary into something extraordinary. Our inner images yearn to be born, struggling against our indifference to free themselves from the unconscious, like a stone held captive, waiting to be released by the sculptor. Some artists in this medium say that they do not create their figures. Instead, they simply chisel away all superfluous material, so that the image already implicit in the unconscious can stand free in the stone. Similarly, when we are in a state of masa confusa, of inner chaos, we can delve into the eternal guide within to find the source of our confusion and clear up conflicting urges. If the spectator could enter into these images in his imagination, approaching them on the fiery chariot of his contemplative thought, if he could make a friend and a companion of one of these images of wonder, then would he arise from his grave, then would he meet the Lord in the air, and then he would be happy.
This is what democracy looks like. So, if folks are ever wondering why we're enslaved and run by policy, statute, code, and various misleaders, get a good look at the metaverse, what goes on these panels from time to time. They know they don't care about words, terms, and symbols. They know they don't care about etymology. They freely admit it. They're so mind and heart controlled, they're going to follow policy and false authority to their bitter end. And no matter how much I try to get them to refocus and recenter and research, the word is research, who and what you are and what this all means, I can't get them to do it. rather argue with me over running stop signs and what that means. It's the loss, injury, and harm we got an issue with. It's not the damn sign. These people never saw a sign they didn't want to follow. They never saw, an idol or a misleader they didn't want to listen to and follow. I'm pretty much done with it all, as I have been for a while. So yeah, when I come anywhere, like it's all love at the end of the day, but when we have the back and forth, I'm going to turn up on you. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and I'm going to question you, hold you accountable, and I'm going to define the words and terms and put it in your face. And if you want to argue with me, I'm going to call you a bitch-ass motherfucker, like the intro said. It is what it is. You guys don't understand why I do what I do. I don't give a fuck what happens. Don't you get it? I'm not like you. I don't give a fuck what happens. I can't. I care, but I can't give a fuck. Because if I do, it'll allow the powers that shouldn't be, that we've given our power away to take me down from the inside out. See? I don't care that you don't understand the words and terms and etymologies and symbols. It's all there. Even if it wasn't there, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Okay? You didn't grow up like me. I was from a broken home. I grew up in a broken cultural divide, I guess you could say. Suburban white people and urban African Americans and Latinos, right below the poverty line. So coming from a broken home and being a broken person and being around a whole bunch of other folks who culturally had some differences, we'll say, I lived my whole life expecting to die or go to prison. So the fact that I'm still here talking, especially after everything thus far, there's so many things that have happened. I don't get into it. You don't need to know every piece of my fucking life story. You may not want to know. It may not be necessary. Maybe it is necessary. Maybe that's part of the problem. You don't truly understand me and you think you do. My whole upbringing, I was expecting to die or go to prison. I just didn't know what the circumstances were going to be. If we don't move into this space and truly understand who and what we are and what our rights and freedoms are worth, which is dying for going to a box, we're not going to have them. Worse than that, we're going to be diseased. We're not going to have peace. We're not going to have inspiration. We're not going to have true faith. We're not going to have empowerment. We're not going to have resources. You have to draw the line of distinction, and you have to move into that if you want the things that we say we want. There's going to be no other mechanism in it. If I have to die or go to prison doing what's true or what's right, I'm so way ahead of the game at this point. Yeah, there's only two things that you could do to stop me now, and you can't even do that indefinitely. You got to put me in a box forever. You got to kill me. If you put me in a box, you're going to have to let me out at some point because I haven't killed nobody and I'm not doing anything. And if you're going to do it, you got to be completely corrupt, and I don't put it past you. But if you put me in there, you got to keep me forever. And you still aren't going to know what to do with me because I'm going to raise the roof on wherever you put me. Just the way that I am. You know it and I know it. I don't even have to get uppity to do it. Energetically, I'm going to raise the roof on that institution. When I go to these places, they go, get this motherfucker out of here. Energetically, we do not need him here. You go in there, it's like the pit of hell. It's like death warmed over. I come in there, I bring such a light and such information and understanding and such care that it just flips it on its head. They say, get him out of here. It's bad for business. Greetings, folks. We're back at it. So we did find out last night, about 3.5 or so hours into the broadcast, Mr. O'Shea has in fact been arrested and his car has been impounded again. So we'll get to the video of that at some point. He was up here. He did message me, said he's having some internet phone issues, so he'll be back at some point. I'm going to go ahead and throw his information up. Slave Cash App. Because I'm a fan of Brian O'Shea. I think the kid's got balls. He's 48. But when I say kid, it's like an East Coast thing. So yeah, that's his Cash Slave app. If you were planning on gifting extended friends and family, the non-taxable crew, if you were planning on gifting or contributing in various ways today or this week, feel free to redirect that toward Mr. O'Shea. I pretty much have everything I need and then some, and he could use it at this time. He didn't ask me. I'm asking for him in a sense, just because, like I said, the kid gets on stage. He's got a good heart. I believe that he's doing what he believes is true and correct. He's attempting to explore himself and his life and what freedom means and personal choice, as silly as it seems to everyone else who's never done that process. I have, and I know how meaningful it could be, even if it seems silly or trivial to other folks looking in from the outside. So we'll go to the video at some point. He was apparently parked, sleeping for the night in the car. He didn't have a plate on. I don't know. I guess they're patrolling around and they came upon him and eventually arrested him. I believe charged him with the no plate, and then of course obstructing, and then I believe resisting arrest as well. And of course he didn't resist arrest. Of course it's not obstruction, because he will not give anything to these people, these corporations. He's not obliged to give anything to these corporations. He's not in the commission of a crime. Furthermore, he wasn't even on the roadway. The damn car is parked. So we're like really reaching here at this point. It's kind of pathetic, seriously, where we're at, in the world with everything else going on. These folks are getting up day after day, riding around, policing everyone like slaves, and trying to extort money from folks who have little to nothing as it is, and trying to enforce policy, statute, and code on folks who are not consenting to that. It becomes a detriment to folks who have little to nothing, right? It's just completely absurd. You're going to stop people from having their own property or using their own property because they may not have or not wish to pay you for the privilege to use it. Absolutely absurd, but this has become the norm, as we know, nowadays on this land that used to be called America. Now I call it USSRA, right? Among other things. So it's complete communism, collectivism, socialism, fascism, whatever ism you want to label. They really all kind of lead back to the same activities. And you could argue spiritually they're all rooted the same place. It's really that shatanism that kind of manifests as other isms. So feel free to go ahead if you're feeling, as I am, that Brian O'Shea could use some help. Why not? Is he the most sort of ambitious and motivated person? No, not necessarily. I haven't been either, right? So just kind of in good faith and honorability and not separating myself from other folks. If you do what's true and what's right, and you're attempting to work and care for yourself, and if you don't have much and you choose to live within your means, right, then it's a different kind of energy for me, and I think a lot of folks out there, right? So he's not on government assistance. He's not begging other people or grifting on other people. He's attempting to go it his own way and live kind of a traveling lifestyle and live with little to nothing or within his means, right? So he's not a burden to anybody. He's not causing loss, injury, and harm to anybody. What I prefer, and I'm sure his family prefer, to see him maybe working a bit more at whatever he enjoys, and being able to, pay for more things if necessary. Yeah, of course. But that's not everybody's walk at all times, right? Some folks choose to do without because they would just rather be a free spirit and rather have their own time to themselves, whatever that consists of. I've been that way certain points in my life. There's other points in my life where I get up every day and I focus myself on co-creating something for the future. But again, that's really open to interpretation and up to the individual, in quotes, individual. I'm using that colloquially, of course. So yeah, that's an individual lifestyle choice and preference. And I'm sure that throughout life, we kind of vacillate at times from doing more, doing less. If you ask Mr. Talcott, we do less and expect more. Why the hell not? It is New World Order, right? Let me just thank quickly Ramon. It's cousin Ramon says, for Uncle Paul, thank you. Love you, brother. Thank you, cousin Ramon. Much appreciated, sir. One of my Latino angels. Illegal, I suspect, Latino angel, but who really cares? Legal, illegal? I mean, the kid's not unlawful. Is he causing loss, injury, and harm? You know the rap. Eric P says, "Hey, cuz, this fiat is for you. You're a saint. Thank you." Right, cousin Eric. Haven't seen cousin Eric in a while. Extended friends and family. Thank you, sir, for that gift. 1,000 holy days of enslavia continues. And of course, I did extend a bit of a hand to Mr. O'Shea last night. Nothing crazy. I'll probably wind up contributing more today, just because I am, at this point, as hard as it is for me to believe it, and who knows how long it continues, or if it continues indefinitely. But I am fairly well off at this point, all things considered. Maybe I just have a very low standard, so why the hell not? I like Brian O'Shea. He always brightens my day. I always enjoy co-creating with him here. He's given us plenty of interesting and funny bits, sacrificed whatever little dignity and humility he had left in order to do it. So, the kid should be rewarded from time to time, I suspect. Okay, let's just get to that. Since I'm talking it up, I was going to go to DeCastro because we have a DeCastro update, for better or for worse. Let's go to Mr. O'Shea's latest dealings as of a night or two ago with policy enforcement. And again, he was parked, no plates, and this is where we pick up.
I was just resting right now.
I got you.
Resting? Here? You're resting?
People register anything?
This one?
Right off the bat. Right off the bat, O'Shea hits him with the good fellas. I'm resting. Here, you're resting? Yeah, I'm resting. I'm out in fucking Sea Caucus and I'm resting. This guy pulls up on me. He says, "What are you going to tell me now, tough guy?" I said, "Go fuck your mother."
Oh, yeah. Well, this one, it's out of service and it's being taken to storage.
Uh-huh.
So.
Gotcha. It's got no plates on it.
Right.
Yeah, you haven't had your driver's license or ID on you?
What do you need those for?
Plates on the vehicle, and it's parked on public road.
I love how O'Shea looks down and starts wiping whatever fucking weed dust was left on his shirt. I know that's what he was doing. Well, I don't know that's what he was doing. For comedic entertainment purposes, in my fantastical mind, I just made that up, right? It's like I had a cop one time. He fucking rolled up on the vehicle. He goes, "You're smoking weed in here." I go, "What?" I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Dude, there's clearly weed smoke pouring out of this car." This was way back in the day, right? I was on some other shit, I wasn't always the fucking brightest bulb in the bunch. He goes, "Get the fuck out of the car." I get out of the car. He goes, "Dude, why are you going to start lying to me right off the bat about the weed?" I go, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "There's weed right on your shirt." I look down, there's weed all right here. I go, "What are you talking about? There's nothing on my shirt." He goes, "You just brushed it off." Oh, man. That was back in the days of like, you never admit to nothing. Doesn't matter what you did, what you got going on. If you can go ahead and go like this while he's talking to you and get rid of the evidence, I don't know what you're talking about. That was back in those days. Never admit to nothing. Doesn't matter what they got. You play it out to the end like a soldier, even if they torture you, right? Nowadays, I prefer the truth. Honesty is the best policy. If you ain't doing nothing wrong and you don't feel like you're doing wrong, you got nothing to hide. Yeah, I'm smoking weed. I got it all over my shirt. I got fucking weed all over my body. I rub it all over into my skin, But yeah, back in the day, you're scared. You think you're doing wrong until you become a man on some level and just own your position. And you want to bullshit everybody and play games. Pretty sure I got out of that with nothing, but odds are he was probably just going to let me go with nothing anyway. But hey, I guess you decide how you approach these things. How are you, Mr. Snafu Snap?
Mr. Paul, I came here with evidence. You said to get the clips of dude selling his underwear and being Flo's friend and all that.
No.
Got something for you today to share.
All
and
right.
Mr. O'Shea, man, you knew that was coming. Are we going to get some O'Shea phone calls from jail? Like the Castro and Brian from My Impacts are doing?
No, he's already out. He's not going to jail, bro.
Okay.
Ultimately, I'm going to give you a Henry Hill now. And again, that's a entertainment broadcast. Karen, people only go to jail who want to go to jail.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right? That was like the scene right before he went to jail for 2 years, whatever it was. But seriously, dude, to go to jail, you got to show up to court. Do you realize this you got to show up to court 3 to 5 times. You got to sign all the paperwork. You got to agree that you did wrong. And then you got to like show up again for them to tell you how long they're going to put you in the box. Come on, man.
I'm not being held.
Come on, dude. Dude, I'm over on New Mexico, and I'm out of here at some point because I'm traveling again, and like the cat's out of the bag, right? I was on Arizona, then I kind of shifted, and I didn't really tell everybody, and then the cat came out of the bag, you know, because they arrested me again. Whatever, you know. Sometimes I leave it on undisclosed location because it's like they're already on me in a certain way. I don't need Slow State and his buddy sitting around figuring out how they're going to send pizzas to my house or call the feds and say I'm running numbers or human trafficking, try to get me arrested. What were you just saying? I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. I just took a bunch of herbs and plants, and I might be a little bit out there.
I'm getting those clips of your friend you had on here about the underwear flow.
Yeah, but you got some grown man selling. Dude, what? This is why. How do I even do a broadcast when you just come out of left field from the back? You just roll in, and you roll in with, I got evidence of some man with a bald head with steroids who's supposedly a Republitard selling his underwear. Wow. You understand how difficult it is to do a broadcast? I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. I'm just saying, do you understand what this becomes? Like, I don't even know what to do with that. Okay. Like, you want to become really good at freestyling, whatever this is, broadcasting, comedy, just talking with retarded people. Do this. Like, start the broadcast. Because this is what happens. This guy comes in and goes, got the evidence. What do you talk? Because I completely forgot about yesterday. Like, what happened? I try to live my life like I'm still on Xanax. Even though I don't take anything anymore, where I forget every last day that I just lived. I wake up the next day. I have no idea what happened yesterday, and I love that. I've trained my mind. Either the Xanax 4 bars a day I was taking 1 point did that rewired my brain, or I trained it spiritually to just move on. But do you know what it's like? I'm doing Everlast now. Do you really know what it's like to do a broadcast and have this guy he shows up yesterday with this crap? Hey, this guy, he knows everyone too, by the way. There's no one who can come on this broadcast who this kid doesn't know somehow, some way. And I have no idea how he does that. Do you have some kind of tracking system? Do you have like a radar? Like how you spend that much?
Called the Zebra Crew.
A Zebra Crew. I guess there is a crew. Either you spend 23 hours a day online, or you really do have some crew that somehow knows everyone. And I don't.
Well, we dropped the clips in your backstage. Hey, so is O'Shea on bond or is he off bond? Do you know?
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. He's not going to jail because you got to show up 5 times and sign all the papers, and he's a traveling man. Okay. Like he just left Vegas and he just went to Colorado. What are the odds he's not going to leave Colorado again and go somewhere else? He's not a fugitive of justice. We're just traveling people. We're hobo gypsies. We travel around looking for the next best weed. It's just what we do. Remember Brian O'Shea's first day? He said, I'm going to the West Coast to find the best weed ever. I don't know what that was. He used to have some like old gangster kind of intonation. I'm going to the West to go to the best weed ever. You understand, Sam? Yeah, he had a whole thing going. I don't know. That switched at one point. He became more of himself, I think, is what it is. Hanging out with me will make people become more themselves somehow, some way. They'll feel more like themselves when they leave than when they first got here. I stole that one from Dave. That's the only one I'll ever steal from Dave. Remember?
Well, you told me to find the clips.
No one remembers
because you said you can't believe.
No, you're right. You're right. Can we do this? Will you hang out? You got nothing else to do. Don't tell me you're leaving.
Actually, I got a lot to do today, but go ahead.
Here we go. Okay. You hang out really if you got it, if you can, if you're not too busy, because I know you got crew. You're finding people, grown men selling panties. You got a whole busy day. You got a whole docket. I'm sure. If you can hang out, I got to get back to the O'Shea video. We're gonna complete that, and then I'll go to the panties. Right?
No, I just wanted to show you. You asked for the clips, and we got it for you.
Dude, you got me. You really got me, like the song says. You already got me. I'm almost intrigued. I go, let's get through, because this whole thing was supposed to be about O'Shea. You once again did what you always do. You stole the spotlight. Now I got to see this magatard selling his underwear online. You got me already. Don't push it. You know, know when to drop it and leave it, because you got me.
Let's get back to
I'm
the show.
excited because he tried to deny it in front of everybody. And again, somehow, some way, you never get it completely right, but you get it right enough that it works. Right. So I knew when you said this, you didn't just make it up. Like, I don't want to believe that. And you've shown in the past, you don't just make stuff up completely. So I go, what are the odds Snafu Snaps just made up that this guy's selling his panties online? And he goes, no, I'm not doing that. I go, we got him. He's definitely doing something weird. So I've learned to trust you in your insanity.
Challenge too. When you said, get us the clips, you said, get us the clips.
Yeah, you take that as a challenge. So that I know, I know how to read you by now. If I say, give me the clip and you're really confident, I know that we got him. If I say, give me the clip and you go, well, all right. Yeah. Then I go, I don't know. Snafu may not. But when you're on it when I know the clip's coming, I know that we already got him and I know it's going to be good. All right. Let me get to O'Shea, man.
All right. Let's watch O'Shea.
You're sleeping over inside your vehicle.
Yeah, like I was saying, the car's out of service right now, so it's being taken to storage.
I
So
got you, but it's still on public roadways.
right.
Okay. So it's still subject to motor vehicle laws when it's on the public roadway. All right.
Right. So what's the
You notice he keeps looking at the camera too.
Well, yeah, because he's, for number one, he's sleeping in a fucking Lumina and they just woke him the fuck up. He doesn't know where he is. We got to get this kid off the street. I got to do a benefit, right? Like they used to do back in the comedy world. I got to do a comedy benefit or Unslavia festival and raise funds. I got to get this kid off the street.
I'll support that because when he came and stayed with me, I was humble. He's not a bad dude. I was surprised his car is running as well as it's been running. So yeah, I'd support that.
It's still subject to motor vehicle laws. So do you have your driver's license or ID on you?
isn't did they pass something recently in Denver where they?
This is not Denver. You're in the city of Englewood. If you're thinking about Denver and then their traffic laws or whatever policies, this doesn't apply here.
Right, you were onto something there, O'Shea. Until you realized you're not in Denver. You might want to make sure you're at the place where you think that they're going to harbor you and allow you to not have plates and minor traffic issues, because that's not it. Like, just so I should have told Brian this. It's my fault. Brian, all of Colorado's not Denver. I don't know if you know that. Denver's actually a county in one area. It's a city and county. And then there's the rest of Colorado. So you can't just go, hey, Denver, because all we know of Colorado is Denver. People who are from the East Coast or everywhere else, all we think Colorado is Denver. Turns out there's more of it. So like Aurora, that's where I used to live, right? I lived on Aurora, then I lived on Denver. Both the ghetto, essentially. Nothing like New York. I mean, they say it's the wickedest strip in America. It's like puppies and kittens compared to Brooklyn and the Bronx, but still. You're going to see some brown folks. You're going to hear gunshots at night. The usual. Nothing to get alarmed about. They're just settling drug debts is what that is. Excuse me, sir. What was that?
I was going to say, maybe you should have said Boulder since he has weed, Boulder, Colorado.
Well, no, he's cool all over Colorado with the reefer, especially when he wipes it off his shirt while they're watching. Shake me into your mind. Were you not wiping your shirt off because you thought there might be weed on it, or were you doing something else there?
No, I was such a pig at the time, dude. I had food crumbs all over. You should have.
It wasn't even weed. You
were sleeping in your food crumbs.
Oh man, that's a Pauly boy move right there. It's not even weed. It's crumbs. Hey, go. Is that weed? Wait, no, that's evidence of food consumption.
Like, what's in your beard?
All right, let's get. This is great. This is fucking great. I really hope that you never wind up having to go to jail or prison for extensive amount of time, because I haven't yet for any of this, right? And since we're actually not doing any loss, injury, or harm or doing wrong, I'm having faith that we won't. And if you don't, then this is great. If you do, it's still great, but not as much. Because it's like ultimately you're living in a car. You really don't have much. If you have to go sit in the can, you know, we'll support you. We'll send some commissary, you know, as long as you get some clean water and you don't get any diseases, you'll work out. You'll come out better than ever. And then you pop your cherry, you know, took your first pinch like a man. You never ratted on your friends.
So
I love this. I love this is so great. This is so great. What's going through your mind right now? Let me get a little bit of commentary. What's going through your mind? Because I love the extended periods of silence where you start to deliberate on what exactly you're going to do in sec.
And he looks at the camera looking for you.
Dude, I don't even know, bro. I guess I could lean on the fact that they did wake me up, but I mean, OTW ripped me to shreds. Like someone's like, play his video. He's like, fuck that. That thing sucks. He was a dumbass.
Next time, this is what I'm gonna play later. I want to teach everyone. Mark Passio's like, we're turning into each other the longer we do this. But he's completely flipping out on his audience because they're not doing anything. And I can relate to that for majority of the time. He goes, 3/4 of this audience is retarded and does nothing to change themselves and this dynamic. That's probably true. So like more as time goes on, we're both abusing the audience because I and Brian O'Shea and others are having to go to jail over and over again for just regular shit. Like for what 100, 200 years ago would be regular shit for a man to be doing and living. It's now like where everybody's criminalized. So this is the new thing now is we have to refocus and say everything in nice, kind, pleasing tones with a smile. No more yelling and screaming. No more angry Paulie, just like this.
Low lives. Yay! Low life.
Oh, no.
Dumb, retarded low life.
Yeah. Can
you do a practice run for us real quick, Paulie, so we can see how you would interact
the next
with all
time they walk up to your car to say, yay, low lives. Dumb, retarded, low lives. You don't care about natural law, universal law, the common law, what's true and what's right, rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. Yay! That's how I act at court. Yeah, it's important to show up with that countenance so they don't say you're contemptuous and dishonorable. You got to kill them with kindness. All right, let's get back. I'm loving this.
What happens if I don't?
What happens if I don't?
Vehicle, and then you're gonna be under arrest for obstruction on top of those vehicle codes. So it's up to you.
So what's the obstruction?
For failing to provide your driver's license.
So that's then you're gonna charge with obstruction.
Yeah.
You look like you're contemplating there.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, dude.
You can get them
That fucking
other people. Go and step out.
fucking heroin weed, dude.
But I will be able to talk to a supervisor.
Yeah, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me, though.
That's an order.
Yeah, I'm asking you to step out.
All right, if I put my slippers on.
It don't matter. Go ahead and step out.
You said I can put them on?
You can put them on, but go ahead and step out.
All right.
Take the camera.
You always, hey, O'Shea, always ask for their badge number, name, and take the camera always. Always get the badge number, name, though. Always, O'Shea.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, dude. I opened the doors, a bunch of fucking garbage fell out and shit.
But yeah,
bags of fucking.
Always remember badge number, name the minute you start those convos.
Dude, I was out of it, and this time my heart was thumping too, dude. It was like bam, bam. So I don't know. I was off my game on this one, but I got it together when they had me sitting on the curb. I kind of was talking to them, but you can't hear it.
We can't hear no more of this, huh?
Nah, there's a little. I was kind of skimming through it. I think there's a little bit here and there, but where they kind of fucking looking in and shit, you can hear a little bit, but most of the conversation is. Yeah, I ended up talking better on the curb. Maybe I was waking up or something, but.
Right. So what's the bottom line? They charge you with obstruction, resisting, and no plate?
Yeah, I didn't even see obstruction on there. I saw resisting arrest. Did you guys see resisting arrest there? Is that what those long pauses
dude.
were?
Why the fuck did you fucking sit there silent and not say anything? And second of all, how come you just walked out of the car? You just got up and
super aggressive, being super aggressive.
Why'd you just listen to him?
Hey, OTW, let me tell you something,
know.
dude.
I'm curious.
Bitch, you
I want to
bitch
know.
who's never done this. Hey, stupid bitch who's never done this.
No, I've done it
Watch your
twice.
tone a
I've
little
done
bit,
it
okay?
twice.
Just
Fuck
watch
you.
it.
I've
You've never
done it
been
twice.
arrested,
I've done
fuckface.
it
You've never been
twice.
arrested, you stupid bitch.
Fuck you. I've done it twice. I know what it's like.
Have you been arrested?
Fuck you.
Have you been arrested?
I've
Have
seen
you been
you.
arrested?
No.
Have you
I've
been
seen
arrested?
you do better.
Shut your
I've
fucking mouth.
seen you do better. You were a fucking pussy. I've seen you do better. I want to know why you fucking chickened out.
That's bad.
Why did you fucking have a brain fart? What the fuck happened, man? Was it the only benefit of the doubt that I would have given you on this one was because they just woke you up and you were like still fucking drowsy and you were completely out of it. And the second reason is that you wanted to go sleep in a closed room with a bed and a mattress or something. So I figured maybe
what
he
is
wanted to go.
OTW's like pissed lately and like he's now going at O'Shea. Like OTW, didn't you give them your ID and follow all the orders? and like,
yeah, I did.
How are you?
But
yeah, so how are you?
You guys are like the example.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have to. If I have to fucking keep doing what I'm doing and make sure that I'm fucking doing it right, the examples that are presented to us need to be fucking doing their job right, man. And Brian's supposed to be like number 2, in my opinion, right? You're like number 1. He's like number 2. Really doing it.
Yeah, no, it's not even like that. It's not even like that,
he's
Brian.
Fucking chickening out. What is that?
How? What is he? He's just trying to collect himself and figure out how he wants to approach the situation. He's being silent. I mean, what?
But he didn't have to get out of the car. You know that.
He didn't have to get out of the car. I mean, he didn't have to, but you could tell where this interaction's going. It's the middle of the night. The guy's got a light all over O'Shea. He's kind of, they're all scared. They're like constantly in fear. What's this guy going to do? Why does he keep looking over to the right? Is he going to pull a gun? Right? That's why he told them get out of the car, because we're going into officer safety mode. You know, O'Shea isn't exactly the most, savory looking gentleman, in the middle of the car, living in there in the middle of the night. He's not from there. There's no plate on the car. For all they know, he just stole the fucking car. He's a meth head and he's going to pull a gun on them, do something wacky and wild. So yeah, he didn't have to get out of the car, but dude, at some point you got to make an executive decision about set and setting and everything else that goes into it. I mean, he's taking long pauses. He's looking over constantly, If I'm the cop, I go, well, I wouldn't even be there, but if I'm the cop, I go, what is this? What do we got here? But you know how these guys are, man. They're already shook to death. They already think everybody's out to get them. And they got a point to prove. And I'm pretty sure Inglewood, Aurora isn't exactly the best fucking area. I mean, like I said, I lived over there. It's a lot of, let's say, urban youths. We'll use some coded lingo there, politically correct coded lingo. A lot of urban youths over on Aurora and Inglewood. So the cops are already a bit uppity, O'Shea, what are your thoughts here? I can't believe OTW's turning on you and insulting you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the same exact thoughts he had went through my head when I said it, and I go, why the fuck am I even going to upload this? This is just embarrassing. But it's like, he doesn't get to say it without without like putting a prequel that like, dude, much respect for fucking going to jail, not signing anything. Much respect for what you did in the courtroom. Much respect for how you handled yourself through that whole process in the court. You know what I did in that jail, how I handled myself, what it was like in there. So you need to fucking like preempt what you're fucking doing, OTW, who's never done what I did with something like that, in my opinion.
Well, I haven't gone to jail for it yet, which is probably going to happen really soon. But what I'm curious about is like, you've already been to jail, like that fear of going to jail or having that interaction with the cops. Kind of like, I was surprised at how you dealt with the situation. I figured you know, you were gonna come out with the shit, with the fucking rap, man, and tell them, you know, I'm not causing any loss, injury, or harm. I understand why you're, you know, you just like you let them fucking train wreck you, man, just like that.
Yeah, maybe it was
You know,
meant to
got
be,
'em
dude, because I leveled up seriously on this one, dude. I got to practice law in court. I got to do it without signing shit. I got the judge to email the deputies to say he doesn't have to sign shit. He doesn't have to pay shit. I never signed a fucking thing.
So you're just
Through the
like,
whole
let
process.
it happen.
Dude, you're such a fucking bitch, dude. Just go
No,
get
I want
arrested,
to know,
you
was it
fucking
the
hoe.
plan? Was
Low lives. Yay! Low life. Right? Dumb, retarded low life.
you're
Yeah.
getting it
Yeah, that
on
was the plan.
camera and you're staying silent. This is what I'm getting. And so this is like the process.
Do you not
Just
hear
shut
me
up
fucking explaining it to you, you fuckface? I was blown out
I
on
get
fucking
what you
weed, not
did.
sleeping properly, fucking just woken up, fat as fuck, out of shape. Dude, prison, that jail time was nothing but great for me, dude. And that was the saddest part about it, dude. I was like, dude, I was going to tell the judge, dude, I go, your best move would be to get me the fuck out of here, dude, because I'm going to get shredded in here. I was working out, and I was putting my face in that fucking law library every day, dude, and loving it, dude, and reading scripture and fucking crying in there, trying to fucking, because it's fucking 1-to-1 what I'm doing. While I'm living it, you're talking shit to me, dude, while I'm fucking living it, you bitch.
Yeah, I know. And I'm having actually a great time doing it too.
You gotta get arrested now, OTW. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know. That's it.
You gotta get
I'm down
arrested.
to
Arrest
that
him
point.
now. The Royal Canadian Horse
Come and
Police.
get me.
I want you to ride those cavalry right over there and come get this motherfucker. Take him to horse jail.
I deserve
What a
it too.
fucking
I mean,
world.
I really deserve it.
Again, they literally just took someone. I know that the frauditors are going to love it. The frauditor commentators, they love it, right? But the rest of us go, this is horrifying. They're taking people to jail for not having a plate on a car while they're sleeping in the fucking car. Like, you see where we're at? I get the rest of the world's a bunch of pathetic, weak-ass, slaved-out fascists and communists, but on America, it's like, was never supposed to be this way. You know, by the way, once again, you didn't have the signed warrant for the property and the person to be seized or searched. Improper process and procedure. A cop can't make a determination on the side of the road to take somebody's freedom because they didn't have a fucking plate, and then lie about the rest of the charges. Obstructing and resisting. Those are just two they throw on every time just to, you know, try to double and triple down. So.
But that's even worse. Look at the video you played yesterday where the freaking cop stops the guy, doesn't tell him why he's stopping him, just grabs him, fucking wrestles him to the ground. The guy gets up and he fucking shoots him. I mean, it's like, and not even telling him, hey, freeze, don't move. It's like nothing. There's not even a warning. He just grabs his gun
that's
and
the
fucking
thing,
blows
man.
him
That's
away.
the thing. At this point, you're better off just like putting your hands out the window and going, hey, go ahead, cuff me for officer safety, because you guys are so shook and constantly shooting people that I don't want you making any mistakes here. Right? There's really no point in arguing and fighting with them. They're completely mistrained. They're going to charge you. If they say they're going to, maybe they're lying, maybe they're not. I just say they're probably going to. So I go, okay, if you're going to order me out of the car, let's go. We'll do the process, make the charges, because we're going to go to court and we're going to handle it there. I'm not going to argue with them on the side of the road. I'm going to do as least as possible, especially if they start showing me, first off, it's the middle of the night. Second off, they're shook. They're obviously on edge, right? If you got to kind of take it as you go. If you got a Valdez there and the guy's talking to you like a man, a normal person, and he's got a good heart and good energy, that's one thing. If they're scared and they're by the book and don't give a fuck, and they go, this is what's going to happen, or this,
You're right.
I just go with what they're saying, because charge me and we'll handle it with the courts. We're not going to do court on the side of the road with a mistrained pig. You know?
I want to apologize to Brian because you're absolutely right. And I forgot because I had a third interaction, which I never, I'd never mentioned because it was a dumb one. But that third interaction, when I started bringing up the right to travel, the police officer was holding his holster and his gun, and the woman police officer was getting really aggressive, and I was like, are you guys threatening me? And, you know, and they goes, yes, we are. It's like, okay, so I'm going to hand you my papers under duress. And I had a witness with me too at the same time. But
unless you're
I do
willing to die
understand
that day. I
But
mean,
it was-
again, everybody has their own
it was the nighttime.
countenance.
In the day when I had the interactions with the cop, the first time the cop actually fled. The second interaction, the cop had the conversation, but we were in the daytime with the sun outside. It wasn't the night. So I think there's a big difference between the day and the night. And I have to apologize to Brian for that because when you had your first interaction, when I saw it with the cops and you got arrested and you actually, you know, fucking defended your rights, it was daytime or it was like the sun was setting. And but not at not when you got woken up at 2 a.m. So I get that, man. I understand that. They could find you much more of a threat at night because they don't know what you're being up to. And in public,
Yeah,
in
I
front
think
of other
Brian's
people,
right.
yeah.
You don't do shit, OTW. You're just jealous at Brian.
You just let it ride, yeah. Okay, all right, man. I'll retract my words.
Can't we all just get along? You guys hearing me 5x5?
Yeah.
All right, copy that. Yo, Shay.
What can I do for you, sir?
Man, sir, are we in the military now? Jeez.
What can I do for you, ma'am?
Or cupcake. You sound like cupcake to me.
Don't sell it, motherfucker. Dude, I stole that shit from you. Tell it, don't sell it. Let me. Man, we spoke about the file date the last time I was on here, and you know you were brilliantly aware. And I think O'Shea and I don't know if OTW here needs to get arrested so he can put the file date to test. But let me bring you attention that Glenn Robert Schreiber over in Connecticut, you know, someone that I networked and been friends with for a long time, he got pulled over in Connecticut. Female policy enforcer. He clarified with them, "Are you looking for a legal name?" Of course, they're always looking for a legal name. It's never our name they're looking for. And he gave them the legal name and he gave them the file registration date or the proper date of birth for that legal name. They went back to the patrol car, ran it, came back to the patrol car, called another officer on another policy enforcer on site. And you know, same conversation. You're looking for a legal name. I've given you a legal name. We have a difference. We're seeing a difference in the record. And make a long story short, they wrote him an appearance with a $1,000 non-surety bond. They did not kidnap him. They did not steal his property. And when it came time to pick up the body cams, well, they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. And that happened on the 25th of last month. And then the appearance was supposed to be on the 13th. Problem was DeGorsey over at the, who's the comptroller clerk of the court, would not put the legal name Glenn Robert Schreiber on the docket. So, you know, right now there's quite a few of us coming together to address all 50 governors in all 50 states about why it is that we're being asked to, if you have a driver's license or you're using a legal name that's supposed to be for your benefit, but you're commingling your date of birth with it, you're in perpetual dishonor and perpetual perjury. And a lot of people are seeing the sense in that and the easy answer and the fact that this has been hidden in plain sight right under our nose. So, you know, for you, Paul, man, brilliant that you're aware of that, but I don't hear a whole lot of talk about it. But here's the thing. It's incredibly effective with these policy enforcers. You know, for O'Shea, if he would have known about that file date and said, "Are you looking for a legal name? Because what's your name?" That's what they're going to want to know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that it would have worked. Fucking.
Oh man,
look, right there.
It did.
Yeah. What about that file date? Burp.
No,
Smash with a baton. Fucking.
Yeah,
I find it funny that all these people are trying to tell you what to do, O'Shea.
About the truth as you want. You can be as belligerent about the truth as you want. It's the truth, and you're
a
one
long-winded fucking idiot, dude. Keep your fucking responses short. You know.
What is this mean? Hold on. Can I stop? Can I stop you guys for a second? Because we got this clown back.
Picked up a lot of bitterness in the cage, bro.
1 second, sir. 1 second.
You're cupcaking like the hoe bag. O'Shea's doing right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hey man, y'all can blow
Yeah,
my,
being heard.
my way.
Yes,
gonna make a
you can be heard.
Hello?
Now you're in your fillers.
Why are you guys continuing to talk crosstalk back and forth when I'm speaking and I can obviously be heard? What is that? You guys do this at court? Right. You guys do this at court with the administrator? Doubtful. Paul looks guilty as fuck. Strange. Could you please come on up here and interact with me, or I'm going to ban your ass and throw you the fuck out because it's like a week in a row with you. What am I guilty about exactly? I'd like to know how you just interpreted my countenance to be guilty. And I want to know what you surmise that I'm guilty of exactly. If maybe you're interpreting the fact that I don't want to see anything happen to Brian O'Shea or anyone else here doing this walk. Like, if it happens to me, that's one thing. I've put my life on the line over and over again. I have suicidal tendencies on record at one point. Not anymore, right? But I'm willing to truly live. And if that means facing my death and being killed for what's true and what's right, well, then I guess that's the gamble we're taking. But I wouldn't want to have to see Brian O'Shea or someone else gunned down on the side of the road like that kid yesterday for this fucking nonsense that should be patently obvious and self-evident and based on the law of the land at this point. You want to take people out of their fucking property and take them to a can for 2 or 3 days at a time because they don't have a motherfucking plate on their property. It's absolutely ridiculous and absurd. And there was a time when these people would have got exactly what the fuck they're giving out. And no, I'm not promoting that and supporting that because I'm not doing that. I let them take me, we handle it at court, or I just fucking leave and don't come back and say, come get me.
Yeah, I'm behind everything.
It's just gotten completely absurd and out of hand.
Yeah, I'm behind everything you're saying, but here's what I'm trying to relay to anyone that's listening. You use the proper date with the legal name that they're always looking for. They don't want to play with you anymore. They're done.
Sir, where's your video? Sir, where's your video of you saying, hey, that fucking date? Oh, the date? Oh, have a good day, sir.
Yeah, where's the video?
Date? Hey, did you guys know about a file date? Let me eat this fucking mango.
Yeah, let me
know about a fucking file date.
Yeah, O'Shea's right.
You know what I'm talking about, Paul. Even though he doesn't.
Yeah,
you know
I know what you're
about.
talking about too, actually. It's about your birth certificate.
Of course the two clowns know each other, what they're talking about.
Right,
The
again.
Up are saying,
Hey, look, man.
Paul, when you two fucked up.
over there.
I don't know what you're saying, Snafu. You're overmodulated. You're very loud as usual, and you're not seemingly a part of this conversation. I'm not even sure there's a conversation happening right now. So, yeah. Again, I've talked about it in the past. The reason I don't talk too much about it is because I know how these swine think and operate. And I know that there's a very good chance if I were to tell a lot of people about that, what I have done in the past, I've been open about it. That's why it's not fraud. But they will start charging people with attempted fraud, and then you'll have to go to court and have them argue that. Because they'll say, don't tell me, well, no. I understand what you're talking about, and I've done it. I've told them, myself, you're not letting me finish. You're talking over me. You talk after the fuck I'm done, not while I'm talking. Do you do this at court with the administrator? Doubtful. Why are you doing it here? You respect them more than you respect me? Maybe you do. Maybe that's the problem that we have. So again, I've told folks about it before. I've asked them, do you want the legal name? They say yes. I say, do you want the birth registration date? They say yes. Now, that's expressed, not implied. So at court, any court on the land, I don't think any of them will convict me because the damn body cam's going to show me asking expressly, do you want the birth registration date? Not the day I was born, not my birthday. The birth registration date of the person. And it's going to be damn hard to prove at court that you were frauding when you ask them 2 and 3 times expressly, is that what you're looking for? And when they go to the computer and type it in, nothing's going to come up. They're going to say, you sure that's you? You is a plural. Are we talking about the legal person? Are we talking about the motherfucking man? So again, they've got us all in a dual jurisdiction. They've got everybody wrapped up with false training or doing fraud, knowingly or unknowingly. And we're on very dangerous ground here one way or the other. But who cares? You're walking on ice. You might as well dance, right? We're already in fascism, Holocaust, genocide. They're spraying us down like bugs and poisoning the food and water. May as well fucking gamble, huh? So that's where we're at. I understand what the fuck you're saying. I've done it before. It's occurred to me like many of the other gurus have had it occur to them because you can't stop a good idea whose time has come. There were 15 fucking people who were inventing the light bulb at the same time as whoever invented it. Edison, I forget who it is. So you can't stop an idea whose time has come. And we're starting to see through the fraud, and they are not going to let it go quietly. So a lot of folks are going to wind up, I would suspect, Chase Allen, right? When he went to get the other passport and he got the other passport and the local pig said, really, you think you're an American national? Well, we got a record saying you're a United States citizen. You doing fraud, boy? Did you try to alter your records because you want to obscure your identity? They will push that line. They will push that narrative, and they'll gun your fucking ass down on the side of the road for it to try to keep everybody from taking their fucking power back that they gave away through status and standing and jurisdiction. So all I'm saying, sir, is you may not give a fuck because you don't do a broadcast and your whole fucking life and credibility is not on the line. Mine is. They know who I am. They're aware of me when I show up at court. And if you think I'm going to get online and encourage a whole crop of people to start doing certain things, I'm not, because I'm not going to want to be witness to their live funeral on the side of the road. Okay? So that's all I'm trying to do. Let's make it clear that when we put these ideas forth, this is our understanding. If you've used it, then talk about using it. If you haven't used it, you probably shouldn't talk about it at all. If you have used it and you talk about it, you should probably give a proviso that, hey, guys, we're in full-on genocide slavery here. Anything you do could potentially be taken as an overthrow or a threat to this corporate procedure and process. So you better be real fucking thought out and careful about what you're going to do, or you better be ready to surrender everything you are and have to do this walk and this work and to practice law. Do you understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying it?
I do.
All right, now
I fucking do.
Now that you're
Right.
done with all that, yeah, of course I've used it. When I served the clerk comptroller in a matter where they were using the legal name and it was my mistake, and I corrected that mistake by simply sending an email. And with Google Track, with the mail track on, that mail over 3,300 times. So there's a lot of people that they needed to inform that I knew, and I know that legal name and that correct date of birth, BERTH, that vessel in commerce that's been birthed, is extremely effective. Glenn Robert Schreiber, who's an ongoing case right now, obviously there's nothing going on because the clerk of the court, and this is a traveling issue, would not even put that legal name on the docket, Glenn Robert Schreiber. I sent you an email with the case number and all that good stuff, and the name of the police department. Right now, they won't release the body cams of the interaction he had where he clarified legal name and gave them the proper date of birth for the legal name. And like I said, they didn't kidnap him, they didn't take his property.
Have you ever encountered a situation where this man, what he says is correct, where the born day of the man is the same as the birth registration date of the person?
I haven't seen that as far. I haven't seen anybody with a birth certificate that has no file date or file registration date.
Yeah, you might want to look deeper into that, Mr. Fourth Dimension, because it would seemingly be almost impossible to have a child, in quotes, born on in the morning and have a certificate and all the registration done by the nighttime and issued. One would think it'd have to be at least a 24-hour period in between, I would think.
That's what they're trying to implement with the digital deal. You know, the 2030 agenda with World Bank and WHO and UNICEF.
Yeah, they want to tokenize everybody and overlay that person onto the man. So if they get like 5G towers up that are killing everyone to share data real fast, then they'll be able to do all this crap instantly. And then you won't be able to have that birth registration date separate from the born date that they also call the birth date on their certificate. Why is there a birth date and a birth registration date? Because it's not a birth date. There's a born date and a birth date, aka birth registration date. And again, this is vessel maritime talk. When you put a boat in harbor, it's called a berth. So they took the man as a vessel and they put it in its berth and created the secondary person to use in the commercial realm. So again, they're looking for that entity and they're looking for that entity's birth registration date. Do the cops know that and think that? No. But that's the system from the top down is doing trust fraud with, some might say. I won't make that claim openly.
I would think that in Glenn Robert Schreiber's case that's going on right now, the deal, you know, that they wouldn't put the name on the docket. DeGorsey, who's the clerk of the court over in Connecticut, would not put the legal name up on the docket. There was just, they would.
This is why you need to make all your own documents. This is why we shouldn't be using their crap. You shouldn't be taking their identifications. If you're going to take their documents, you make sure you fill out the paperwork properly so that it denotes who and what you are and what you're not there, like the American National Passport process. So there's no reason that folks can't make declarations with notaries and witnesses about someone popping out another slave child out of their stink hole. I'm just saying that to be triggering. Hopefully, faithfully, folks are starting to raise themselves and their children to be somewhat godly and righteous and co-creative and not completely slavish, right? So there's nothing stopping man and woman from being their own bank, from being their own clerks, from being their own court. As a matter of fact, the court of record will define the man and woman is the court, what they call the sovereign, not my words, theirs. So we should not be taking their documentations. If you do, you better make sure you fill them out correctly. If not, you're going to get yourself wrapped up for the rest of your life in their presumptions and assumptions, and basically begging for services is how they interpret it. And then being fraudulent and dishonorable on all the paperwork. They love it when you folks beg for services and fill out all the paperwork wrong, because now they can manage your estate for the rest of your fucking life because you've shown you're completely incompetent with legal and lawful affairs. So we all should be our own fucking bank when it comes to gold and silver and giving them back their damn fiat coupons. We should all be our own clerk of court, right? Essentially our own court of record with our affairs and managing that. And I could go down the list, our own guru, our own priest, our own whatever. Stop going to these people and their institutions for their services. They're not there to serve you. They're there to take or to manage everything that you are and have indefinitely. One day, folks are going to wake the fuck up and realize how much power they have with their word on paper. An affidavit, unrebutted, stands true. It's a damn maxim of law. That means the man's word is as close to God as you could get in this realm, and no agent can overwrite that. They're trying to, and if we let them, they will at some point. We're pretty much already there. It's based on a practice. It's not an attainment, just like enlightenment. You have to practice law. You have to practice your record keeping. You have to practice your presentments and the way that you put forth your word and your beingness. There's not enough for my liking people practicing these things at this time, and that's why we're here, because we're going to make more and more of them as time goes on.
Right. So I do broadcast. I do have a YouTube channel. This message is out there. Actually blew up really quick because I only set it up probably not even a month ago. And the idea, though, is to stay in honor, and staying in honor, they're always looking for a legal name. So you never want to commingle your date of birth with their creation. You can only control what you create, another maxim of law. And when I shared this with veteran researchers, okay, one of them that was in law school, he was in traffic court, and he asked his instructor, why is the state attorney here in traffic court? And the instructor laughed at him and said, because they all committed perjury. So when people go in and they get a driver's license, unknowingly volunteering their date of birth, they're volunteering to be the surety and debtor. You, which in bankruptcy language, you is a debtor of the United States. And that second experience he had was when they were trying to frame his son for guns, and he didn't know anything about that file date that was right under his nose. He has birth certificates spread out. There's ATF, there's FBI. And one of the FBI agents laughs at John and goes, the answer you're looking for is right under your nose and you can't even see it. And he just was baffled until that was pointed out to him. When it was pointed out to me, it's kind of a domino effect of pointing it out to people. Look, pull that birth certificate out and prove to yourself that that legal name was created the day you were born. And then that's why you would ever volunteer your date of birth. That's what they need. They need you in that perpetual dishonor and perpetual perjury. That's the dangers of the Department of Motor Vehicles, which I do have a recording out of an interaction with them. Because, see, when I corrected it with the credit bureau, it took the debt and reverted to exceptional payment history. It zeroed it all out. And so that was a great experience, because there was child support lingering there from the kidnapping of my son, which is another story, but it didn't matter. I never paid on it. But it wiped $30K out and reverted it to exceptional payment history. And with that success, the DMV sends a release for the driver's license, which I had sent back 9 years ago with a recension of signature. But it didn't matter, because they could still pull that old driver's license up that I had returned 10 years ago up on their database, man, up on their Nexus. And
yeah,
they want to use that motherfucker like you have a contract with them when you don't.
Yeah. And then they go, is this you? Like they did to me this last time at jail. They go, is this you? I go, that's an image of my likeness on a card somewhere. They have one card on me, which is an ID card from Colorado. They keep using to charge that person. You know?
That's because that is the jurisdiction for the prosecutor. The prosecutor, when you challenge jurisdiction, you better direct it to that prosecutor and ask him what he has over there in his folder that gives him jurisdiction over this matter. And he better pull out a voluntary subscription to a state ID or a driver's license, because those are the two elements he needs. One or the other, voluntary with what do you got? Commingling your date of birth with their legal name. That's why the administrator will find you incompetent and send you off for to the whack ward, because you're over
but
there.
It doesn't matter, because at some point you put it on record. They're playing the presumption assumption game, and they're waiting for you to rebut it. They already know on record that I and others have rebutted it. We've given notice to all of them. At some point, we've corrected the record because we've come to an understanding different from one we've had in the past. So all those records previously need to be readjusted and re-coordinated. We cannot go off of those past contracts, right? And again, it's not fraud and perjury because I didn't knowingly do it. So you could technically say it is for everyone, but nobody knowingly did it. That's what makes fraud. When you knowingly go in, put different information down to try to obscure the record and your identity. No one's doing that. We're just taught incorrectly, just like the cops and just like everybody else up and down the totem pole. So once you come to the new understanding and you rebut that, they can play all the games they want on the ground with the computer, keep pulling the same Colorado ID up. I go, I don't know what you keep pulling that up for and charging that. I've all given you notice up and down Colorado and everywhere else that I am not that person, and I did not knowingly contract, and that since then I've corrected the record, and that contract has become null and void, essentially.
Let me simplify this real quick. When they pull that driver's license out, if it's an old version of especially like one,
not a driver license, it's an ID card.
Even an ID card, it's same.
But it's essentially the same thing. This is how pathetic it is. They got everybody.
When that's pulled out, well, yeah, that's an error in the record as a mistake that I had made in the past. And the picture, that's just the holder of the beneficial legal name that's on the driver's license. So you're just a holder.
A holder in due course, as they say, right?
Well, actually, I like the shorter defining of holder. That means any bond, document, anything that's delivered to you, to put it in simple terms for people, anything that's delivered to you. So when you go to the vital stats office and you go, I want a copy of the birth certificate with the organization name on it, or you want a Colby, either one. Once they hand it to you, they've delivered it to you. You're now the holder. See, those names were never supposed to be any more but beneficial to us. They were never meant to be nom de gores. They were never meant to be used to go to war or go to court. You can get a Minnesota name, which is in good standing, and you can use it to open a bank account. You can use it to take people to court if that's your thing. So you're always in good standing, and you're just there.
The birth certificate and the social security card says right on it, do not take this anywhere, put it away, don't use it for ID. And what did we all went and do at some point? Went to some organization and used it for ID and gave it to them to start creating accounts and charging those accounts.
The fucking cops are on the street. Literally, yeah, I want the legal name and I want your social security number. That's part of what Glenn Robert Schreiber's body cams will be able to show people, but they won't give them to us. So we're hoping that more people will hear about what's going on over at New Brighton, Connecticut Police Department, Lisa, and, encourage that, the Freedom of Information Act is honored here, and that they'll give over the body cams so that we can share the interaction with, so people can see this at work. I've had my own interactions, but unfortunately they just weren't recorded. But as soon as I gave them, broke it down, are you looking for a legal name? Yeah, like off the birth certificate. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And as soon as I get, the legal name is John Henry Doe and the date of birth is 7/27, and they fold up their little notebook and walked away. So some of them know what the hell's going on. They know what's going on. The clerk of the courts damn sure know what's going on. Because like I said, when I noticed the clerk of the court in a 3rd-degree felony they were trying to frame me for, and I noticed them of the correction of the date, oh, it was game over. Your case is closed. We're all done with you.
What's the felony for?
Impeding a little forestry dipshit, because I sent him to the end of the driveway. He got butt hurt, made up stories that I, was threatening to get a gun and shoot him, and it was just, on property, on a fire that wasn't mine, on property that wasn't mine. I was just happened to be there, and the guys.
It just did it to me the other day. The Forest Service and the sheriffs, they're all fucking cowardly tyrants, and they're pathetic. And let me give you a clue too. Let's really trigger. You bitches got no business in uniform. You beta males can't do it, and you hoes definitely can't do it. So I'm tired of seeing women in uniform trying to buck up and act tough, and then got to go back with their beta male buddies and write up fake charges. Get a fucking life. Go learn how to suck dick and clean the house.
Yeah. So really kind of my announcement here is there are a large group of us coming together specifically focusing on this file date and the power of it and how it's being used successfully for instant separation. It's instant fucking separation. And you're in honor and they're in dishonor. That's the place you want to be. I'm telling you the truth. You're over here wanting to use a lie. So if you want to use a lie, that's on you. The hounds of hell are on you, not me. And that's kind of the spiritual inclination of this whole deal, and them wanting you in perpetual perjury. That's really where they want you. That comes from my friend that was in law school. And when I showed this to him, he went, "Oh, fuck, now you just answered 2 questions I can never answer for myself." The one of the instructor in court, you know, in traffic court, saying everybody there committed perjury because the first time you went in and got your driver's license, you probably didn't even know it was fucking legal name. You didn't know nothing about nothing. You thought, you know, this is the way you do things. But there you were. And see, they can't give legal advice, and ignorance is no excuse. And if you're going to tell me that they don't know, I'm telling you, they know what the fuck they're doing and allowing you to volunteer yourself to be the surety and debtor, to be you.
And then they turn around in the FBI, elements of the FBI and CIA like KFAR, the yellow-skinned, chubby coward, will repeat, "A sovereign citizen movement is a loosely knit group of individuals who believe that the laws of U.S. don't apply to them. So while they're born on the U.S., they're exempt from its laws."
Well, see, look, Paul, man, we've done changed it up now. We've done changed it up.
They won't even go to the damn fucking declarations and the United States being declared as a 10-mile square area on Maryland. It's not Maryland. I keep saying that, but it's not. It's its own island there over there. It's considered its own territory. So it's a foreign corporation that's taken up residency on the land of America and used United States corporate policy and an amended constitution to take everybody's rights and freedoms. It's fascinating. And they go, it's mumbo jumbo. You can't be a resident of the United States. United States is the 10 square mile block, and all of the state ofs are subsidiaries of that. Headed principal corporation. They're agents of the principal.
Yeah, we've discovered.
Wow, we've been scammed and duped to an insane level, and many of us are liable to go to prison for this once we figure it out and correct the record. Because these tards, many of them think we're doing fraud. That's you. The definitions are all there. The U.S. code was written to stop all this. It says it on the back of the Social Security card. Don't use this as ID. They already knew what was going to happen. Whether the same people who told us all not to do it turned around and planned it and did it, or other people came in and did it, it's all laid out right there on the damn card, on the birth certificate, and the U.S. code says falsifying securities and things of this nature. I'll pull it up right now. It's them in general language talking about these entities creating these documents and slaving everybody with false security instruments.
That's right.
It's all right there. They all laid it out knowing what it was. It's incredible. You go look at this and it blows your fucking mind how this is happening.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. If you like living in a haunted house constantly, you know, well, it's good stuff. You got to love the game, right? Because we're here. I get it. Beast system simulation. But yeah, it's beautiful in its ugliness. You got to respect these fucking pimps and their duplicitous, trifold game that they're playing. It's 2 and 3 pronged, and it's just double and triple speak. And the more you go deeper, the more you realize someone somewhere already wrote it out and knows what they're doing. And I go, is it possible we're living in a movie that deep where once you put it on record, you got 2 groups, one who want to come get you and shut you up, and the other side who are backing you and protecting you? I started believing that. I go, I'm pretty sure DHS showed up at my arrest just to check in with me because I activated them and they want to know what I'm doing. They're never going to tell you on record, but they're going to go back to their people and go, you better not touch this one because he's on to all this. And you know you can't do it. This is how crazy it becomes. I really believe that at this point, that there's factions of this quote unquote government who are trying to slave and fuck everybody. And there's factions who are literally following us, watching us, and protecting us, provided we're not actually doing loss, injury, and harm, and that we're not lying or in perjury or dishonor. Maybe I'm just delusional. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'm trying to cope.
No, you're pretty spot on. And the Social Security Administration were the first ones to misuse the information from the birth certificate as it's being used as an identifier. Because remember, early on, a Social Security number was probably generated when you were still just a baby. And they also, people don't know it, but they also generate driver's license number in the expectation that you'll reach the age of 15, 16. You'll come in looking to sign up with the DMV, and they get that nexus with the state. But before that, they're definitely Rod Class in his DC gun case proved that the birth certificate was a staple document of their funding. I mean, that's what that QSIP number on the lower left corner of that bank bond is, American banknote. But the hospitals being involved in creating securities without licenses. Where's Gary Gensler on that one? Why? See, so these people are living a lie to keep up the appearance, so people will continue to live this lie. And it is just simply you're caught in dishonor lying when they go, "What's your name?" You didn't clarify with them that they're not looking for your name, they're looking for a legal name. And then, what's your date of birth? The first two things out of the policy enforcer's mouth. You got ID. That's where they can just see. They've got the nexus because they've got the commingling of your date of birth with their legal name. And that's what they're fucking looking for like crack, because they want to tap these trusts. But Social Security's in a pretty hot seat. O'Malley, who was just sworn in, is the new head over the Social Security Administration. And we're going to be reaching out to him. Same thing with Homeland Security that you just mentioned. When I went, so they sent the release for the driver's license after I cleared up the record with credit, which is tied to the Social Security number. Got the proper date on there now with their legal name. And they sent the release. So I lied and went and got a driver's license. I came as soon as I got it, came back to my Facebook page. Look, everyone, I lied and got a driver's license. Anyone watching, I lied and got a driver's license. That way, waited a little bit and went back, did another recording. I pulled the birth certificates out, clarified with them. It's a legal name on the driver's license. Yes. It's the legal names from the birth certificate. Yes. Okay, well, here's.
I know, dude. It all came through one day for me. I looked there. I go, this can't be what I think it is. And then I go look, and then sure enough, how the universe works with me is my birth registration date was 6789, right?
Yeah,
so 6789, they'll say, is a special message from the angels that they are with you, helping you to manifest your highest goals and desires. This is a sign of abundance, success, and financial security. It can also be a sign of inner guidance and clarity, making decisions that are right for you. So I go.
Let me tell you what the response of the DMV was. That's the last thing I got to say about this part. So I present the birth certificate, certificate of live birth, and I point out the file date and the fact that I tell the supervisor, I committed perjury to get this driver's license. The deer in the headlight looked for a minute, and she says, well, it's Homeland Security that tells us we have to use your date of birth, so you have to take it up with them. So that's the next step. That's the next step in this journey, is to have a discussion with them. And right now, there's a lot of us over on my Facebook page that are all kind of congregating around this one truth because it's so simple and it's so apparent and it's so easily provable. So anyway, I digress. You go ahead.
Your thoughts, Brian O'Shea? General?
Yeah, that's 6789. If you look at numerology, because once you get to 9, that's what that 911 is, because 10 is perfection. So you go 9, 11, you skip 10, perfection, and you get in the loop. So you go 9, 11 is 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what it might be saying is that Paul's here to allow us to get that perfection. Because 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, Paul's going to help us get to 10, the heaven on earth.
I don't know if I can promise that, Brian O'Shea. That's a heavy.
No, we're doing it though. No, I mean you represent like what we're doing. Like I say, like the brotherhood, whether I like someone or not, dude. If I like their person or not, if they're going arrested, and then things are changing, like in Denver, dude. I look at it like the New Jerusalem is this big block, and when that shit happened, bro, I was so proud of myself that I had got arrested before they changed that policy, because it was like I literally felt like it was like a square block, dude, of all the people. We became like a solid force, dude, like a brotherhood, like a positive gang thing, dude. Like
is this true, Brian O'Shea? Have you started to see me as a deity? I don't want you getting yourself in trouble.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I understand you're a man and everything, bro, and your intellect seems to be above mine, your articulation and understandings, and I'm trying to get there. But it's like, I understand that a man, you're a man, and other men could be like you. We could be like each other. You know what I mean? You don't have to be on a pedestal.
Well, one man can rise above the majority and change things. It only takes one person.
Yeah, but the only way to do that is unification with what we call God. It's not about the man. This is
But
not me. This is not my walk. This thing is in me and it reveals to me. It's not me. Right?
I get
it's
that
like, how do
because
you explain that to people to avoid the idol worship and to remind them that I am them? Right? It's like you start to walk this path and then it syncs up with you. And then it seems that you are God-like at times to other people. It's God working through man, and everyone's capable of accessing that, it would seem.
Well, they also put it in a majority of movies. Like, I'm a cinevar, so I've watched so many movies, and I could give you so many examples of different hero-esque type individuals who lift themselves above and stand for freedom and like the Patriot. You have the Last Samurai, you have the Hunger Games, and I could go on and on and on and show you that they literally put it in there as some sort of way of telling us that that actually exists for real. And I believe that you are like a representation of that metaversally, okay? That would actually you rise above the average individual and actually stand for something that's true, just, and righteous. So this is where the masses or the people that actually resonate with that eventually assemble. Avengers assemble, and boom, you start a movement, man. And it's not your fault. It's not because you're the one who wanted that, but you're just the one who decided to say out loud what everybody thinks deep down, right? And that don't say. So eventually,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Like we grew up on. I remember back in the day, right? It like started to hit me the other day. I remember this cartoon, Rocko's Modern Life. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there was a specific song and line that kept playing in my head that I remembered where he goes, I should pull it up. You can't fight City Hall. And then like the whole cartoon episode is about everyone around Rocko. It's called Rocko's Modern Life. Everyone telling Rocko he can't fight City Hall. Don't do nothing. You can't. Just submit like everyone else. So he goes through his efforts, barely even takes up the cause, just doing what he believes is true and right. And eventually he wins. And then everyone starts carrying him going, you can fight City Hall. Rocko did it. It's like I flash back to that cartoon and I go, this must have been implanted in my subconscious. And that's what these stories and cartoons and allegories are supposed to do. Is while the little kid is kicking around in the house, into his subconscious is being programmed, you can do something true and correct and be equalized, if not greater than City Hall and all of its legions, right? And it's the one tiny but big secret that folks have had kept from their inner space and their life journey. And the more that I walk this, the more, again, they keep telling me, you better stop. I had this chick come here the other day. She goes, why not just tell them you were hunting on the land? That's in the code. I go, because I'm going to dishonor myself and they're never going to respect me again. And I don't respect myself. You think they're going to believe for 3 seconds? And even if they do believe it, you think they're not going to know I just lied saying I had a 5-round 9mm snake pistol on me to hunt? Come on. I don't need to lie. I had the damn gun on me to protect myself from all animals, 2-legged and 4-legged. And I'm not changing my story from what it is. I don't need to lie. I don't need to dress it up and remix. That's going to take my respect and honorability at court. It's a lot better off, regardless of what happens to me, to just show up and say exactly what the fuck it was and what I did. Good, bad, or indifferent. And let the rest fall where it may.
It's like the story what you just said. A slave coming out of slavery and becoming the liberator of the slaves.
Yeah, the way you described that City Hall thing, dude, it was like 1-to-1 what just happened to me in jail, dude. Like this pressure kept mounting because everyone knew I could get out. They knew I had the money on the books and I just had to sign to get out. It got to a hyper point, dude, because there were 6 of us in a room, dude. There was 6 of us in this pod, and we'd have these we'd have these philosophical discussions, dude. They would debate me on this shit. They're like, why are you doing what you're doing? You got to follow the rules. Just sign this shit. Just sign this shit. And then when I came back from court and I said, yeah, the judge emailed them saying I ain't got to sign shit. They were like, they're all these stunned looks on their face, dude, because they were coming at me hard, bro. They were talking about, hey, man, once word gets around here that you ain't signing to get out, people are going to start. And I was like, yeah, man, I might get beaten or killed in here, but I'm going to stand on my shit. He goes, I ain't saying it's going to go that far, but dude, I'm telling you, it was like there was a pressure on me. They're all like, just sign the fuck. Once they're snapping on me a little bit, not like treating me, but they were just like, dude, I just want to tell you, man. They were like, just get out of here, go live your life, man. You got your car in the pound. It's gonna be more expensive.
Yeah, I've had them try to pull it on me, and then you got to let them know. Listen, I respect all that, but you ain't my fucking daddy in here either, Jamal and whoever else. Don't fucking tell me how to manage my own affairs. Respectfully, I'm doing this as a spiritual, religious walk. You're mad that you can't get out and I can. Go handle that and deal with that. Don't put that shit onto me. Right. And then you got to let them know. You got to check them a little bit. Let them know, hey, bro, I'm doing this for me and my God and my self-respect, whether it's a little ticket or 10 fucking years. So don't tell me what I got to do and not do because you don't want to stay here because you're going to listen. Right. That's when you start to become a leader in those areas. Then when you win, all those bitch ass motherfuckers who were supposed to be gang members and tough guys, they start to go, oh, man. Paulie boy's got balls. He's got a head on his shoulders. That's when they start respecting you and coming to you to figure out what the fuck they should do. That's when the game flips, right? And this is what people don't understand about walking this walk. I've never been a tough guy. I've never been violent. I've never been none of that. But I've had tough guys and violent motherfuckers under my wing because they realize I got a mind and heart and balls and I can see and I'll stand on some shit next to somebody. That's the greatest fucking ally and asset you could be to any one of those groups, high level or low level, right? So, people are going to test you, man. They're going to challenge you.
Yeah, when they kidnapped me and they
I
realized
don't know what's going on my connection. Am I breaking up or breaking out, or what's the deal?
You're good.
No,
you're good, Paul.
Coming in 5x5, man.
What's going on, G?
What's up, brothers?
Hey, G.
Yeah,
What were you going to say there?
I just showed up. I don't know.
Someone was speaking.
Yeah, I tell you, they said they wouldn't put an armband on me. They wouldn't put a legal name on me. Yeah, first thing everyone noticed was, "Where's your armband, man? Where's your ID?" They won't put one of those on me. Look, the proper instruction in staying in honor is to never commingle or voluntarily give your date of birth for their legal name, and it's big time stuff. It truly is. I hope people are hearing the message here, and if you want to protect you, the man or the woman, that this is how you do it. And when the clerks don't even want to move the case, they don't even want to put the name up on the docket. That's got to be pretty telling of how powerful this truth is when you move forward with it. So, and it's something simple that most people can see right away and wrap their minds around.
Gee, are you drunk?
No, dude, I don't drink. What's up, Brian? Yeah, shit, I just got my property back. They towed my Harley the other night after they chased me for 12 over. Just got that back. Gave him my passport. He didn't give me a license ticket, just gave me a registration and an insurance ticket. So I don't know what's going to happen, if I'm going to show up to court or what, but I just got a trust created today for my property. So got that going for me.
How did you do that? How was that? How did that process go?
Well, I just used LegalZoom, but I talked to a bunch of lawyers, or 2 or 3 lawyers, and they're all, I don't know how to say it, brainwashed by the state and don't want to deal with anything as far as rights to travel or anything. I probably could have, not mentioned that and had them build a trust for me or whatever, but I don't know. I'm super honest and transparent, and yeah, both lawyers didn't want to deal with me. So I just went through LegalZoom and just got one created today, and I'm going to use their lawyer service that they got. It's like $200 a year or something. So I can ask him any questions, and just put all my property into that trust. And when I get pulled over, my property is, that part of the trust, and here's my passport. Where do we go from here? Type deal. So, but yeah, I just got my property, my Harley back after getting chased. I don't know what you guys think of that type shit.
Well, did it cost you anything?
I just paid the towing fee is all I paid to get it back. So
Hey, did you see what happened to that kid yesterday that ran from the cops?
Who's that?
Shouldn't it have?
I didn't run from the cops. I just stopped for them pretty much, but ended up fucking dumping my bike in a field entrance because there's rocks all over the fucking place. So I should probably fucking litigate over this deal, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and peacefully fucking resolve. Hopefully. What the fuck is that noise?
Great stuff. All right, my fucking internet's being affected right now. It's cutting in and out. I'm gonna go to the DeCastro update from the jail. Apparently, we got an update here. That's why I'm here today presenting or appearing, as they say, as Paulie DeCastro, because we do in fact have an update. Brian O'Shea, did you have anything else? It seems right when I get into a great conversation with you, somebody overtalks me and interrupts, and then gives me little to no energy and little to no new information other than what we've already heard. That's kind of frustrating. And then my internet starts cutting out, and then I want to smash my head into the screen. You know how it goes.
Yeah, dude, it's just strange, man. The dorm that I was in, it was called like a privilege thing. We'd have 6 guys to a thing, but like I had access to law library. Food wasn't half bad, and I was working out, dude. And I was just like, it's sad to say that I was like, damn, dude, if they keep me in here, bro, I would just become, I would do great, bro. There's no doubt about it, bro. Like every day I would just be better. And then working with the people in there, bro, was another thing. Like I was and others were like, we're constantly giving these other people food, looking out for them, what they need. You need some, like looking out for people. Oh,
so you're not bummed out right now because Landline has made his 3rd or 4th comment of the broadcast. He seems to think that you look bummed out. Is he correct on that, or is he projecting again?
Nah, it's just like last night I slept a little rough. I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, and it's just interesting, man. It's like I'm not trying to be a victim or anything, but it just seems like everywhere you go, bro, I'll go to a mic. Like I got fucking 86 from a fucking room because this gong show fucking. I'm just saying, it's like everywhere I go, it seems there's some fucking issue, dude. And my point is
go to that since you brought it up. You just summoned me because I already have it up there. It was just lingering up there. So if you're gonna like bring it up specifically, then we got to go to it. So, gong show, shit show fight with Brian O'Shea. This is his latest on stage exploits. Break up the mood a little bit.
It's about a minute before I go up. It's a long ass intro thing.
84 milliseconds.
Long ass intro. This guy thinks he's cute. All right, I'll speed it up. Let's see, Brian O'Shea.
This motherfucker's rolling around on those rollerblades, gonging everybody. So I gonged your stupid ass talking about I'm a fucking alternative black dude. You're a white person. Anyone who says they're an alternative black person is a white person. You're a fucking idiot. Alternative black person. What a fucking piece of shit. Hey, I am what I eat, so fuck you. It ain't pussy. You fucking faggot. Sorry, I just came from Vegas. Anything goes up there. You guys are a little more SJW. You're doing great. Oh man. That dude's best joke earlier was when he said, I'm not gay. I'm not on there. You do know. Yeah, this dude's rollerblade around. Just get the fucking rainbow outfit already and the fucking assless chaps. It's okay if you want to fuck. If you want to fuck, I'm not going to fuck you, dog. I ain't gonna fuck you, dog. I ain't gay like that. If you rollerblades away, bend it over and shit. Hey, I ain't no homosexual. Meet me in the bathroom after your set. Oh man, you guys are pretty cool, man. Fuck that! I'm gonna roast your ass for the next 8 fucking minutes and break the world record, you piece of shit. You closet homosexual? Jump out! It was Pride Day the other day, dude. What is your problem, dude? This fucking white guy will make out with you. All the corporate-looking white guys, they're closet gay too, ain't it? You get drunk enough, do some cocaine, fucking weird shit happens, you know what I mean? What a fucking bitch. What a skinny little hoe. Fucking. What a fucking revengeful little rat this fucking dreadlock faggot is. Alright. Woo, take it there. Alright.
All right, that was Brian O'Shea. Hey, Brian O'Shea, have you ever like considered actually coming up with a bit? Like 15, 20 minutes straight of actual jokes and comedy?
You missed the best part of the video. The kid challenges me to a fight. He's like, let's go outside, let's go outside. For like a minute or two
Oh,
straight.
really? Okay.
They're like chest to chest.
PJ, don't big mic right now. Don't big mic right now. PJ, motherfucker. What's up with my backup quarterbacks, dude? Yo,
He fucking triggered everybody in there.
PJ, bro, what are you doing, dude? PJ, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now, PJ? What are you doing right
That is the best part.
Hey, we're back, everybody!
Oh man, that's comedy, huh? That's comedy nowadays. It's the comedy scene.
Yeah.
Seems great.
I mean, you guys do realize that I know that I look like I feel the same way you guys do watching it. I only upload it for you guys. Like I look at this and I go, this ain't worthy of.
Yay! Low life. Right? Dumb, retarded low life.
I'm kind of retarded.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
you need that one, Paul.
DeCastro or what? We go to DeCastro update from here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick story.
Quick story? Can I tell you my favorite Matt Dillon story briefly? Real briefly. All right, DeCastro, line 1. He's calling collect. Will you guys accept the charges? Up, too late. Hello, world.
There's no sound.
There's no sound?
I don't hear nothing.
Hello? Can you hear me?
There's no sound. We can hear you. There's no sound in the video.
Oh, here we go, man. All right, I gotta reset now. They've been fucking with me this whole broadcast. God damn it.
What the fuck
Numbers are up every time. What do you mean? What do you got? What am I gonna do while I'm gone? Wondering what you guys are gonna do while I'm gone. I don't know.
Well,
Brian O'Shea, dance around a little bit. Do a dance. Give some comedy. I'll be right back. I gotta reset.
I'll play a guitar song.
Fuck you and your guitar, OTW. Piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Now it's time to say fuck you and my guitar. You're just jealous because you can't play.
No one wants to hear your guitar right now, you dumbass.
Everybody wants to hear me play guitar, man. What are you talking about, Brian?
No, they
Is
don't.
OTW trying to force us to listen to him play guitar again? I think I just heard that. He just say guitar.
Get it, dude.
Yeah, no, that won't be
He's trying to
necessary.
force
Thank you
us.
for the offer, but I'm back already. All right, I got the Castro here. Please.
That was
Hello,
quick.
world.
See,
All right, tell me if you can hear him with the
really didn't
hello
want me to
world.
play guitar.
OTW, please.
Hello, world. Today's June
Yes, we can hear it.
My name is Chili DeCastro. I am a journalist. I've been unjustly locked up at the Clark County Detention Center for obstruction when I was filming a cop.
I just want to be clear. You're a journalist the way Snafu Snaps is a journalist, Mr. DeCastro. Right? That might be why you're struggling with credibility at court. You're like, okay, Brian O'Shea's a comedian. Snafu Snaps is a journalist. So are you. I get it, right? And I'm a porn star. You're a journalist the way I'm a porn star. Come to think of it. I'm going to start introducing myself as acclaimed porn star.
Kangaroo Court, led by Judge Ann Zimmerman, will have to pay when I file my federal civil rights lawsuit when I get out of this dungeon. If you're new to my channel, I'm a First Amendment auditor and I film the police. That's what I do for a living. I've filmed hundreds of cops in my lifetime. The only place I've ever been arrested for filming a cop is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, what's happened so far is we filed an appeal. The district attorney has filed their reply. This is the reply to their reply, and the hearing for my appeal is July 10th, 2024. We are now 14 days away. So here's the reply. Start on page 1 here. You can follow along on the screen. Comes now appellate Jose DeCastro. My legal name is Jose. Through his attorney of record, Chris Orm, this brief is made, and here we go. Page 2. Arguments. Mr. DeCastro's conviction must be reversed based upon violations of the First Amendment of the United States. 1. In this case, DeCastro began filming police interaction from 10 feet or more. It's to be noted that in the DA's reply to the original appeal, he said I was within 5 to 10 feet. Mr. District Attorney, I have filmed hundreds of cops. I always stay 10 feet away. The police interaction occurred in broad daylight where DeCastro complied with the officer's demands to back up. DeCastro utilized provocative and challenging speech while demanding the officer issue a citation to the driver. All of Mr. DeCastro's actions were clearly protected by federal case law and the United States Constitution. The state acknowledges that DeCastro has a constitutional right to film the police interaction. However, the state argues that there are reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions associated with the First Amendment, a point which Mr. DeCastro concurs. Despite this agreement, the state maintains that DeCastro's actions somehow obstructed the officer. First, at trial and on appeal, the state repeatedly contends that DeCastro refused to back up. The state advances this argument to demonstrate that DeCastro hindered and obstructed the officer from completing his duties based on DeCastro's refusal. At trial, Bork testified he did not back up. The officer also testified that there was a 21-foot rule. In closing arguments, the prosecutor argued that DeCastro violated this imaginary 21-foot rule. The prosecutor also argued that DeCastro would not back up when ordered to do so. Page 3. On appeal, the state explained, the difference here is that the appellate was actively interfering and obstructing the police investigation by approaching the driver and refusing to back up. The officer could not safely conduct his investigation. No matter how many times the state claims that DeCastro did not back up, the video evidence and exhibits belie this claim. A reviewing court can simply view the video and steal photos and observe that Mr. DeCastro complies with the officer's commands by stepping back. This fact alone demonstrates the state's insufficiency of the charge. Why would the state continuously make a claim that is contradicted by video and still photos? The United States Supreme Court has condemned prosecutors for obtaining convictions based on false testimony, Napu versus Illinois. Even firmly established Supreme Court case law has not deterred the state from advancing a false narrative. You can clearly see in the exhibits, which I was standing here, I'm standing inside of the white stripe of the parking structure, and then I go 4 feet back from the white stripe from the parking space structure. And then it keeps going. Notably on appeal, the state has abandoned this imaginary 21-foot rule because there is no 21-foot rule. It doesn't exist. At trial, both the cop and the prosecutor argued a 21-foot rule exists, and the worst part about it is that the judge said, oh, there is some 21-foot rule. We objected. It didn't matter. However, the state does not dispute the legal rationale enunciated in Glick versus Cunniff, where the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit addressed the excessive force allegation by making a plaintiff who was filming from 10 feet away. In this case, the officer admitted that Mr. DeCastro was 10 feet away while filming him. The Glick case provides relevant guidance.
All right, I might have to stop this. This goes on for 34 minutes, and all I'm hearing is whining and complaining through some other guy. You gave $50,000 to $100,000 to write up another appeal complaint where he talks for you and describes why you didn't do this or did do that. I mean, again, this is just kind of where I don't think we're ever going to fucking bridge this gap here with these auditor folks, with these constitutionalists, with these republicards. We're never going to bridge the gap where they just go, I'm a man, I have natural rights, God tells me what I can and can't do. You guys have advisory code and I don't have to follow it. Did I cause any loss, injury, and harm? Do I owe it that? They won't do it. They'll cite case law, which isn't law. It's a decision of someone else in another case. We've gone over it over and over again here. They don't care. They're going to say, in that case, we ruled that way. In this case, we're ruling this way. Why are you arguing code with code? Why are you arguing legal system with legal system? You're not a man. You guys are losing your status and standing in life, at home, with your children, with your wife, and especially at court, because you won't act like a fucking man. You've got another male in a suit writing out pages and pages of whining complaints to ask them to please let you out. When are we going to go to the next level, you fucking indoctrinated, non-journalist, non-law scholar embarrassment? So go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put it up again because it's not a competition. But if Chile de Castro is going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars regularly to put on ridiculously poor and weak, cowardly, whining, complaining performances, I'm going to put up Brian O'Shea, even separate from my materials. It's not about me. I can do whatever I do for free. I could show up at court over and over again for free because I got the word of truth in me. I got God in me, right? So it doesn't cost me a motherfucking thing other than the basics. Few $100s here and there for the nonsense in between. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up again. Brian O'Shea, have you gotten any contributions throughout this broadcast from the beginning?
I don't think I got any today, but I did get, between you and others, I think it was up to $165 the other day.
Okay.
When I got out, I think yesterday.
You know how much that car is going to be, supposedly, that they're going to extort you for?
They're going to close in an hour. I wasn't able to get it today. I think they charge an extra $35 a day, but they needed the last four of the VIN, so I didn't track that down yet today. Or I'm a Uber ride away or a long, crazy ass bus drive away. But yeah, I got to handle that tomorrow. I got to at least figure out the exact amount. Get my ass over there.
I'd make an attempt to try to restore that property with documentation and moving a claim, and see what their response is. Whether it works, quote unquote, or not. It's like, you guys took property unlawfully. You didn't have a warrant to take it. As of right now, you guys are doing RICO essentially because you're using a towing storage company to force me to take a service that I didn't need to take to begin with. And you had no signed warrant from a magistrate to take that property to begin with. So you unlawfully did an arrest and you unlawfully possessed property. And now you're trying to do RICO and extort me for payment to profiteer off unlawful activity. Not too pretty. Right? Not too honorable. So on top of that, I'd bet anything, if you go and you search those statutes, they're going to say that a towing company cannot tow, in this instance, a car and hold it for more than X amount of dollars a day. Because I've caught a few of them not abiding by state code. Imagine that. Imagine the cops and the towing companies not abiding by the state codes they're attempting to enforce on the rest of us, or not even actually enforcing proper codes on the rest of us while not following their own. So I had to tell a couple of them, hey, just so you guys know, I don't know how many people you charged $50 or $35 a day, whatever it is, coming through here. The state statute says you can't charge anything more than 15 to 20. And they said, oh, okay, we'll retender your bill. And they redid the bill and handed it back to me. Do you think they're going to get all the money back to all the people who came in before them who they didn't follow the state code with, so they can do commercial crimes? They can do ethics violations? They cannot follow the damn state and federal codes and every other code and law on this land? Amazing, huh? So you better look into the damn codes and you better hold them to their garbage, because they wrote all this garbage to use on us and they won't even follow it themselves, while they steal property and extort and do RICO and all the rest of it without even a damn fucking magistrate's signed warrant, which everybody knows or should know it says in the damn Bill of Rights or the Constitution, somewhere in there, you have the security of your person, papers, and effects, and that any search or seizure has to be accompanied by a signed warrant from a magistrate detailing specific places to be searched and specific property or persons to be seized with an articulable, reasonable suspicion, not even a suspicion, that a crime has already taken place, because you can't do that on suspicion at that point. You can't arrest somebody who's innocent till proven guilty on a suspicion that's reasonable, articulable. You have to articulate an actual crime on those signed and sealed warrants. They didn't do any of that. And now they're going to try to extort you for hundreds of dollars again in payment. You better make them aware. They violated state code. More than likely, you got to go look. They violated federal code. They violated the law of this land, and they're subject to fucking lawsuit at this point. If I were you, I'd return that property prontissimo and see what they say. Then they may start to wheel and deal with you. I had one guy out in the middle of nowhere, because this has happened to me a few times, goes, oh, it's going to be $1,000, whatever. I go, number one, you just violated state code. Let's start there. Number two, you violated federal code. Number three, you're a dishonorable piece of trash. Where do you want to go with this? Oh, just give me $200. I said, yeah, maybe we'll start talking now, because ultimately I'm in the middle of nowhere and I probably can't get a lawsuit filed and get it done anyway. But you violated all these laws, these codes you call laws, and you just did it with a fucking policy enforcement, supposed public service corporation. Really not a good look. It's like mafioso Rico #1. Like, you guys want to use all this crap on people on the street and then not even adhere to it. And as soon as you let them know, then they start wheeling and dealing. How about you just give me the $150 or the $200 for the normal cost of the tow? Forget the storage. Yeah, because it didn't cost you a motherfucking thing to take that car and put it in a back lot somewhere. And also, the state code says you ain't even supposed to tow a car, have a car impounded, if it's not impeding traffic. 95% of tows are cars that are on the side of the road and not impeding traffic. So you violated that code as well. Put it on the list.
They wouldn't even let me fucking tow my shit home.
They get 3 times. This is how you sue the shit out of them and get 3 times what the fuck at least they charge you. They want to play. It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous.
When I was in Vegas, they were giving me a hard time with the IDs and shit, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get it out.
They're all full of shit. They told me they couldn't release it without a stack of things. I didn't give them nothing. They're all full of shit. They took the car without anything. They can give it back without anything.
Yeah, exactly. Made me fucking
so
show
I fucking
shit. Fucking.
So I shut up, G. So I had the keys, right? And I was like, fuck, dude, I don't think I'm gonna get this thing out. So I start walking towards the car, right? My heart's thumping. I'm like, fuck, I'm doing this. I'm gonna take this motherfucker out of here. Then some guy goes, hey, where you going, man? I was like, oh, I gotta put this shit back in the car. You gotta go back to the office. And but my buddy got away with it in Chicago, bro. They stole his brother's truck. And he fucking just went in there in the middle of the night and fucking got that truck back. Because I guess it's open all night over there, but
that's repossessing your property. It's lawfully yours, and they don't have a right to possess it. So I'm not gonna openly, especially on public airways, support the repossession from a tow company or storage of that property. But I'm sure many folks have done it, and they can decide to write charges after the fact or not. But good luck. Oh, they're all operate in the gray area, is what you start to learn and find out. These are all corrupt corporations. They're all low-life scum, and they're all operating in the gray area because 99% of time, nobody ever holds them accountable or takes them to court or puts them on camera or files business complaints on them, right? And put them on notice for who and what they are with everybody. Right. But just, I mean, again, it's so pathetic. Many of these towing businesses don't even make any money because no one likes them or trusts them. Their whole source of income is towing the police's cars that they want to punish you with. I had the cop admit to me on the side of the road, we're only towing your car to punish you. I said, that's rich. You just admitted. I go, you guys commit so many crimes. You do them openly. You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even care. I go, you just admitted you made a legal determination that you're not qualified to make, and you did it solely to punish me, not because I violated anything or because you're in line with code. You just want to teach me a lesson that you're in charge and have control. You can't do that, dummy. But you can, because they do it all day, every day, and they don't get someone to put a fucking gun in their face, quite frankly, is why they keep doing it. right? You saw the guy and I'm not advocating that, but you saw the guy on the side of the road said, we're going to have a gunfight on the side of the road because you guys want to roll up on me and take my property and rights. You know, so I probably shouldn't even reflect on that and speak like that, because then they'll try to say that I'm saying that that's what folks should do. No, I don't do that, right? And I don't advocate anyone else do that. But quite frankly, that's what you do to any other man who try to take your fucking property on the side of the road. You put a fucking gun in their face, and we hash it out like that. So again, we have to remain civilized. We have to remain honorable in good faith. And we have to use the courts and the system in order to get resolution and remedy. And unfortunately, if we can't get resolution and remedy, historically, that's where we're going. I won't be a part of it. I'll say it over and over again, right? I'd rather them kill me or put me in a box than have to take one of these filthy pigs' life on the side of the road. I'd rather you just kill me, put me in a box, martyr me, and that's that. I don't want to become like you scum. I don't want to take life that's God-given and not mine to take. So yeah, that's the point where we're at. We're going to have to start suing everybody and getting them on record and checking their fucking pockets. Because if we don't, historically, that's where the fuck we're going. We're already at Cold War. I don't know what everybody thinks this is. We're already in a fucking Cold War. People taking people's rights, stopping them every day, forcing fraudulent contracts, taking property and rights and freedom, and killing motherfuckers on the side of the road too. It's abominable. We've become so fucking desensitized to this shit. I was sitting there last night. Every once in a while, it fucking hits me how sickening and disgusting it is watching these clips of these young people getting gunned the fuck down, not even resisting or defending themselves by these fat fucking swine. It's sickening. It's grotesque. And I don't care if they bring me into court too and do like the Castro and say, Paulie, did you say on your broadcast that they're sickening, grotesque swine? Yes, I did, ma'am. And it has no relevancy to these proceedings. I do an entertainment broadcast. And quite frankly, what do you call it? I'll pull up a few videos for them of the young people gunned down in the street who didn't even reach for nothing, didn't do nothing, didn't even try to use less lethal, shooting people as they're running away. This is unprecedented. Where I come from, where you actually, on New York, you actually are on the ground and have to do policing and deal with like hardened criminals all day, every day. You scum are out in the middle of Kansas shooting people in the fucking back, running off because they don't want to go to jail today. You don't do that. It's a violation of every conventional form of ethics you could think of. Again, not following your own codes. They'll try to put me or someone else in prison for shooting a scum coming through my window and say, we don't have stand your ground laws, and then shoot someone in the back running off who hasn't presented a weapon. So you can go ahead and bring up this broadcast, because I know a lot of you agents watch everything behind the scenes and then try to conflate the issues, right? So go ahead when we're at court. If it's not in the back of your mind, bring it to the forefront and bring up, like you did with the Castro, me talking on my broadcast, because I'll stand on it. Ultimately, yeah, it's disgusting. It's a mockery of this law and order system. It's a mockery of the law of this land. It's sickening, and it should stop immediately. And anyone who doesn't agree with that is potentially a criminal. At the very least, unethical. So that's not a personal attack on anyone. That's not directed to anyone specifically. That's a generalized statement. You think it's okay to use corporate public service industries, revenue generating arms of a non-state of corporation to take people's fucking life because you want to claim jurisdiction over them with a corporate contract at birth and a fraudulent system? Yeah, no, I get it that it's a fascinating game to be a part of on the highest level. It's all meant to be happening right now. On the lowest level, as a man, as a flesh, as a human being, it's fucking sickening. And it needs to stop. And guess what? It's going to stop. If not in general, with this one and with many others who watch this broadcast and have already been on this movement, it's already going to stop with each one of us. So you're either going to gun us fucking down and put us in prison too, or we're going to stand on rights, freedom, and principles and get this fucking law of the land recognized again on every court of the land. Because if not, it's all fucking over. Sitting there filing appeals, paying $50,000 to $100,000 of baseless fucking fiat notes when you're all overextended anyway to get other clowns to come in and appeal to someone's good sense and good nature. Show up, speak the fucking truth, put it on record, surrender the rest, and be prepared to fucking die at some point. If you haven't noticed, we're pretty fucking deep into this with your fucking whining and crying from you folks. The Castro and the rest of them. Thank you, Mr. Shively. Appreciate you and all you do, sir. He says, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate all I do. Yeah, right. Like I got a fucking choice at this point. I get it. I respect you. I'm thankful for you, Shively, but let's be real. Do I really have a fucking choice at this point? With everything going on and everything I've already said and done, and the fact that I can't fucking go back because I'm already conscious and aware of it, and I know what the fuck needs to happen next? Let's go to the damn video, and I'm going to wrap it up here at some point. You got anything, G? I know I'm doing a lot of screaming and yelling. What else is new, right? I'm done with the Castro's fucking nonsense and all this goofy fucking legal paperwork with little squiggly lines and the goofy brackets. Suck my fucking dick. Why don't you put that on a common law record? Fucking sitting there mumbling about hating police and calling them pigs, then crying at the fucking court. We're in Cold War here. We're going to lose it all. You should get you know what I'm going to, you know what? No, I just decided for the last hour, because this broadcast and my persona has become, I listened last night to Passio and I fucking lost it. I almost shit myself laughing because his new broadcasts now are just him insulting 3/4 of the audience because he goes, you loved Mark Passio when he was nice and kind and talked the truth in the first episodes, like when you met me, right? When a lot of folks first met me through this thing talking about this guy's loving, he's patient, he's caring, he's well-spoken. Right. And now we're like years into this and I go, yeah, it's not working. We need a lot more. We need folks on the ground. We need the audience to be actually involved and activated and active in this idea. This wasn't about Paulie Boy and other folks getting up here and being looked at and listened to while everyone else does little to nothing. No, it ain't. So a lot of folks started hating me and not liking me when I started holding the individual and the audience accountable. Hey, guys out there, whoever you are, you're going to have to live this and do this too, or we're all fucked. Right? They liked it better when it was just Paulie Boy's walk. Paulie Boy was nice, kind, and polite. Paulie Boy did the traveling freely on the side of the road with Valdez. It was so great. Yeah, what about you? What about the rest of the folks here? Right? So as soon as you pivot to, hey, we're doing this for years now. We know the numbers. We've taken stock of what's going on. Yeah, there's changes happening, but a lot more needs to happen. A lot more folks need to get involved. People don't like that. When you start to hold the audience and the individual out there and in the chat box accountable and responsible, and you try to inspire them even from a negative aspect or position to do and be more by being critical and critiquing them, being abrasive and obnoxious at times, putting it in their fucking face. That's what daddy's got to do sometimes. Got to give you the harsh truth and put it in your face and remind you what the fuck we're all here to do. This ain't about playing favorites and playing nicey nice and playing house and playing content creator on YouTube. Look at me and give me things and suck my feet. No, we're on the ground together, or we ain't together at all, not in spirit and not as Americans, so to speak. So let me do that, because why the hell not? We already had a great broadcast. We already did the Brian O'Shea thing. Did we do, how do I want to do this? I wanted to do Broken System, Broken Trust. He was up here earlier. He also gave me another video. I did tell him today we were going to do that. Let me go to Passio. Why the hell not? Then I'll circle back around to Broken System, maybe for the last 15, 20, just because I got a real hoot out of this yesterday by Passio's after 15 years. And again, I have my differences with him. I think he's following the statute, policy, and code. I think he's got mortgages. I think that he's in with the central banks and all the rest of it. But apparently it's whatever his form of resistance is, or co-creation, or upholding the law or rights, or being an anarchist, whatever he's doing, he's feeling like other folks are not doing that or not doing as much. And I kind of relate to that at times. Or at least I find it to be a funny dynamic, because he's apparently experienced a lot of the same things I have doing this walk at times. So yeah, let me go to that. Let's see how much of that we can get into. If you want to stop me, or you want to come up, you want to redirect, you got questions, comments, concerns, narratives. If you got a video you want me to check out, I'll throw the link again. Feel free to come on up and we'll stop it at some point?
Religious mindsets, ostensible religions is how I would refer to that. Both genders, all levels of income, financially. When you say it's all rich white men, or it's all Jewish people, or it's all Catholics, it just makes you look like a complete fucking moron that you are. It's just people are just really dumb fucking children. It's sad. It's just sad, and their understanding never grows out of their little shit box of a mind. It never grows out of what other social engineers fucking told them. It's just they're morons. They're morons from now to the grave, pretty much. And they don't want to understand my work. I'm going to throw it out there anyway, but it's the same thing, doing this for 17 years, yielding hardly any results because there's an unteachable audience. And it has nothing to do with me. People are like, Mark turns off people to his work with his attitude. Go fuck yourself. How's that for an attitude? I'm not interested in your bullshit fucking opinion. Keep it to your fucking self. Keep my fucking name out of your fucking mouth, lowlife. That's what I say to any of my fucking critics. Go show me how to fucking do it right, asshole. Loser. Do nothing. Person with no fucking skin in the game because you're a fucking low-life coward. And once again, everybody will get all pissed at Mark Passio for being angry about fucking morons that do nothing except talk shit on people who have actually done something with their life. But then if you say it with a nice little smile on your face, then all of a sudden nobody talks shit on you. I've been insulting people, calling them the asshole fucking losers that they are with engineer Satanists do, is they just smile at you all day while they're insulting you and treating you like the little fucking shit in the pants, shit in the diaper baby that you are, the pair of fucking loser clown shoes that you are. But see, they do it with a nice, happy, bright smile and a nice attitude and a nice, ebullient voice, a nice bubbly ebullient voice, and then all of a sudden it's true to you fucking loser morons. All you lowlifes just go, hey, he's got a smile on his face and he's saying it in a nice voice. Must be true. Maybe I am the fucking loser moron that he's telling me that I am, right? Right, kids? Right, clowns? You're a bunch of clown children, and that's all you ever have been. So what's the difference if I put out 5 new videos? What's the difference if I put out 13,000 new fucking videos? You guys ain't capable of that don't want to change and transform spiritually. You want to believe politics is the answer. You want to believe voting's the answer. You want to believe fucking, finance is the answer. Money's the answer. You're a bunch of low-life little fucking shit in the diapers children. Kiddos, here's a song for you. I believe politics is the answer. There's one for the books there. There's one for the song books. Go to sleep at night to that little lullaby, you fucking lowlives. Yeah, you can say it like that, though, right? Then nobody gives a shit, because you said it with a nice big smile and you said it in a nice voice. So I'm going to call you the fucking low-life loser know-nothings that you are. Just in a nice, gentle voice, right? With a big shit-eating grin. And then you accept it and you don't get all nuts on Mark Passio because he's not yelling at me. He's not, the mom, Mark's yelling at us again. He's a mean man. He yelled at us. That's what you guys sound like all day long. To me, that's what it sounds like all day long. Little shit in the diapers children that don't give a shit about anything but somebody's tone of voice. You don't give a fuck whether anything is true or not because you're low-life loser children. Yay! Fucking retards. You fucking retards. If you don't want to be a fucking retard and a ludtard on top of it, maybe you should join How to Become the True Media. Then you'll learn some skill sets. You'll learn some life skills as an adult on how to fucking put information out to other people through the internet. No, but you guys don't want to do that. You just want to fucking complain. You want to point fingers at other fucking people who have done something with their lives. And, you're just low-life losers who've done absolute shit with your low-life lives because you have no fucking courage. You have no real knowledge. You haven't transformed spiritually. You think that somebody's anger at the state of the fucking bullshit of the world means that they're not spiritual because you don't know what real spirituality is because you're a bunch of low-life fucking children. And, maybe if you take the How to Become the True Media seminar, you'll learn a few life skills as an actual fucking adult. Or just don't remain the fucking low-life ludtard that you are. In any event, there's my promo for my seminar, and it'll get whoever the fucking real deal people are, and whoever can't handle the things that I say, don't fucking join. That's it. I'm not interested in bullshit sugarcoating things to people. I'm just going to say it exactly how I really feel to people. Because, this is probably the last one. I'm wasting my fucking time teaching an unteachable class. I'll continue to do How to Become the True Media because at least the people that do join that want to try and improve themselves, want to try to speak out. Not that every one of them will, because some people, they take it with a serious attitude. They eventually become content creators. Some people take it and it's an intellectual curiosity to them, and they don't really put the skills to work in their lives. They don't really practice them and do them. And if you're the kind of person that will actually practice the skill sets and develop them and actually become a content creator at some point, then How to Become the True Media is the seminar for you. 23-week
I don't know why the sound keeps going out on it. I need a 23-week course. How to become a true man or American again. Rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. It's a 52-week course. Right? It's only, what does Passio charge? $3,000 for that course? Yeah, I'm going to give you double. 52 weeks. How to become a true American man again. I mean, again, this is where he and he cracks me up. I share some of the same sentiment at times, but I try to stay faithful. He's been doing this, whatever this is, I guess, a lot longer than I have. And I guess not only have become the god of all media, as you folks know, right? I've been coined that term. Some folks have said, but obviously getting arrested on the ground. So that's where I find it interesting. I go, it kind of makes more sense. Not that I should do it either. Why I start yelling and screaming at times and go, hey, when is like 3/4 of this audience going to fucking do what I'm doing with me and be a part of this and see where this goes? He's like yelling about people not doing enough broadcasts or like enough media. And I go, Passio, you're a fanarchist. You guys are talking about putting out media online and becoming the true media. What about becoming the true men and Americans of this generation again? And this is where my issue is with these guys. He's yelling and screaming at an audience for not becoming media. At times, I'm doing the same thing for not standing on their and our rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. So I'm not making excuses for myself and my approach and presentment when I do that. I don't really need to. Apparently, folks enjoy it till they don't. Some folks also do the thing they do with him. We liked earlier Paul Unslaved. We liked the first 6 months of Paul Unslaved, and then everything got really dark and morbid and kind of aggressive, super aggressive, So it's like, yeah, it's kind of the organic walk in this, whether you want to call it growth or devolution. It's kind of part of the organic, authentic walk that at times you get a bit insecure, you get a bit frustrated. You start to think, what the fuck am I really doing this for? And then quite quickly, I know with me, I come right back to, I know what I'm doing this for because I have nothing else left to do here. So it kind of mitigates that frustration and that kind of desire for others to do what you're doing, even if it's true and right. Because you go, well, even if they're not doing it, what the fuck else would I do here? This is my purpose. This is my calling. This is what redeems me. This is my penance, in a sense, spiritually, for past transgression. So, I relate in a sense as a fleshly being, but then spiritually I go, yeah, Passio, you probably shouldn't be like doing that as regularly as you do it. And you probably shouldn't be doing it when there's many others out there on the ground going to jail or having to go to court over and over again. And you're just yelling and screaming and crying about not enough people putting out media. I mean, it's like I can then scream and yell at you based on that conditions, right? Based on that standard. I could then go on Mark Passio's show or have him here, yell and scream at him and saying, why are you not upholding the law and rights on the ground? Why are you working with centralized banks and getting mortgages and loans? Why are you getting all the benefits and privileges of this society while claiming to be an anarchist? When I say this society, I mean the legal society, the one we usually speak of, the corporatized legal society. What do you got, Ben? You kind of look like Passio's cousin there. You got a Passio sort of vibe look to you.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Paul? So like I told you when I first Instagrammed you a month ago or whatever, I actually know Mark. I wouldn't say I'm like his best friend or I like know him like that, but I have met Mark face to face and talked to him a few years ago, back in 2014. I guess it's 10 years ago. Wow. 10 years ago now in Manchester, Connecticut, when he did a seminar here. I talked to him for about 3 hours in a bar after the show. I was on his show several times. And I don't know how deep you want to move on him or on yourself about that, but my position starts with a sentiment you both share that I take umbrage with, which is that it's enough to avoid loss, injury, and harm. And to me, that's nursery school. That's just the beginning of being an honorable human. And my contention back to him is that that's not enough. After you've learned to not be directly deviant, violent, and dishonorable to human beings, and not cause loss, injury, and harm, there's a whole world of refinement beyond that. That doesn't just leave you to do whatever you want or whatever could be said in the common parlance or colloquialism that's fun. There's a purpose that you have that everybody has, and more importantly, that everybody's bound to everybody. And if everybody's not doing what they're supposed to, you do have not only permission, but an obligation to force them to do what they're supposed to. And the reason that you might not see it that way, or Mark doesn't see it that way, is because everybody's a failure to understand our origin. If you go back and you really understand our origin point and the way we came to where we are now, that would correct the simplicity of natural law and just avoiding loss, injury, and harm. That's just the beginning.
Yeah, again, I've not claimed that the whole of man's experience or journey or growth or learning here is pigeonholed or exclusively set upon the idea of not causing loss, injury, and harm. That's for the court venue. That's for when they want to bring you to court. And right. So I'm just claiming that at court, if we're there to settle grievance, it's typically about loss, injury, and harm or a debt that's unpaid. If not, then we're going to start using courts on the land to police everybody's demeanor and behavior. You could argue on the highest level, if you extrapolate it out long enough, it may be to everyone. Trying to compel folks to do it quicker or more righter or do it now, when that may not be the individual's journey. Oftentimes it seems it's not. So I'm not claiming that that's the only thing we're incarnated to do. I'm just claiming when it comes to presenting at court that we have to make it clear the foundations of court are loss, injury, and harm or a debt owed. And again, if we want to address grievances or complaints beyond that, the court is not the place to do it. At the bar or at the library or wherever is the place to do it. That's where we address complaints with each other. And as you put it, the refinement process of our persona or our character.
Heard. And I hear that, and I appreciate you covering that. That was very comprehensive coverage of that matter. Obviously, it is the going fair in the court. That's 100% correct. And no, you don't claim that singularly. He does. He, however, does, and that's a point of. Now, what you said to the effect of people's journey and lessons, I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but I don't believe that's the totality of understanding violence. As you move up the spheres, there's a way that we are bound to each other, and there is a different. There's more than just lessons going on in here, and my understanding is the amount of cycles that we've been through together in this place. We should have figured out certain things a long time ago, and certain obstinance from people. I'll say it like this, and I don't know how long you want me to talk or how deep you want me to go. one of the things I've introduced people to is the concept that there are no private destinies. That if everybody's going around talking about a simple concept of oneness, then that simply implies in the back that we're all a singular organism. So any religions, versions, New Age versions, or people's private versions of something that boils down to there being private outcomes for each individual is false. Because if we're a singular organism, then everybody's bound together, and the totality of our actions together will determine a single outcome for our entire being. So if you factor that through, then you start to understand that there is a certain violence in not following the program, and that they do need to do it faster. And it is in my purview to address that, because it's going to affect me. It's going to affect you. If people don't realize that we're here to genuinely love one another in a very strictly speaking technical way, and understand what that means, that it comes down from first understanding our origin point, and then we understand what violence is to souls on this journey, and where there is an obligation to speed it up. And it's not just that everybody's, well, they certainly have the free will to choose to do this or not, but it's definitely not outside the realm of our need to move them along or force them to move faster against their choosing violence, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, I get what you're saying, that we're riding the Aaron Gauci line here of assessment, because, and what I mean by that is, while there may be a perceptible and apprehendable universal law with conscience locally, we also understand that the journey to conscience is in oftentimes making mistakes. So we can't claim that every time somebody makes a choice that's to their own or someone else's detriment, that they're doing violence necessarily, and that something has to be done to them. It's just a part of life and experience, is making mistakes, making bad choices, doing it over and over again until eventually you choose to become better and do better and be better. Right? So, I mean, again, I just go on what is. It's like the same way I would say, was it unethical or immoral in a sense? I don't know what that noise is. Is it unethical or immoral in a sense to have me taken off the street and put in a box for me deciding to use heroin? You could argue yes. Do I now, being off heroin, realize my life is probably better off heroin for many reasons, and almost thank these people for doing what's immoral and unethical by taking me off the street and putting me in a box and then sending me to rehab? Yeah. So it's like, how do you resolve the paradox that we all have free choice to do our will or the will, but there exists a system to refocus us and recenter us at times on what is ethical, that also may be immoral, that they're using. The system they're using may be immoral because it takes your free choice, even your free choice to harm yourself, which you can argue on the other side is an immoral action in and of itself. So, I mean, we're like constantly riding this line of what collectivized mechanism are we going to embody to get people who potentially could be incarnating infinitely over and over again to choose to do good here now in this incarnation, if they're not causing loss, injury, and harm to others, right? That's kind of the sticking point I've always come to is, while I thank them for putting me away, did they actually have a right to do it? And then some folks will say, well, they must have because they did it. Well, not everything you can do, you should do, and not everything that can be done is necessary, proper, or appropriate. But again, it's a subjective perspective in a sense. You know, it's like, I guess it is, but it's not. That's the paradox of this experience, that you go from going, hey, everyone has a right to choose and free choice, to realizing there really is no right to choose and free choice. There's only this track or that track. This track leads to these experiences. That track leads to these ones. And again, how do you compel a race or even an individual to take one track over the other, knowing it's going to be beneficial to them and everyone else, if it's not their apprehension? My only answer I can come to is by being the change, exemplifying that change, and doing fellowship almost day in and day out, to where one by one folks start to make that choice for themselves. It didn't require me violating them because they violated the original law, if that makes sense. Hold on, I muted you. You also kind of have to be willing to let the world burn, including yourself. I mean, just to be real about it, you almost have to give it up that, hey, whatever God's will to be done is God's will to be done. So if Satan is punishing all of us or just the bad people for what we've done wrong and not repented, does that make him a good guy?
I heard around all that, you know, and it is, they're really good questions, you know, but I have comprehensive answers. They're probably far more than the scope of this broadcast. But effectively, there is, and you've tapped into it, there's obviously some intelligent algorithm that's functioning with these agents of the state. There's some way that we get out of line, that we get out of balance, that they have more than just their own intelligence going on. There's something more going on there, and I do agree with that one. But the thing is, if we really worked it out, and this is what I was attempting at times to talk to Mark about, if we really work out and accept the fact that we've been here through multiple incarnations, maybe billions, that's our assertion, then there is a degree that which certain individuals should have figured this out long ago, and their obstinance to figuring it out, well, there is an element of force required if it's affecting everybody.
I love this kid. This kid's literally like trying to lay out in a calm, sort of pleasant manner the idea that we need an authoritarian structure to essentially torture people. That's not the right word, of course. He'll have a better word for it. To just make an authentic choice, right? A lot of folks need some help in making an authentic choice to do what's best for them.
I don't believe you're misrepresenting me. I feel like you're getting to the point I'm making, and that if you really track this back,
so you're agreeing with me. I thought I was being a bit sarcastic and expounding, but you're saying I'm right on the money.
It's being presented a little more brashly than I mean it.
Have you met Jack Talcott? I think you two could possibly be the sort of the yin to each other's yang.
When I was on the show last time talking about the trust, you were mentioning him, and at that point I had no idea who he was. Since then, so I didn't meet him, but I have seen him on since, whatever that was.
It's Ben
he also believes that the best time for changes come under authoritarian regime, because that's when you can kind of use the apparatus of the state to kind of get everyone in line. Like, while we'd rather not have authoritarianism, it's the best time to make change. You know, she can really kind of get things done.
I don't know if I mean exactly that, and I definitely know for a fact that there's a higher power. I stay away from using that word God because it just means this master, and there definitely is a God and there is a master, but I identify that force as evil. It's real, but it's the evil. It's not the higher power or the real father, but it does exist. And it seems to continue to get to exist by everybody who continues to throw away their responsibility. And that's where I see this beautiful dovetailing or overlap between the legal lawful situation with the courts and the agents of the state, and moving the next tier up in this discussion of some cosmic violence, if you will, that it really kind of works in the same way, that when people throw away their responsibility on this level, the courts and the police seem to pick it up in a certain way of speaking. And if you go up a tier, this God entity was not necessarily brought into being by people throwing away their responsibility, but it's definitely maintained by people who don't want to be responsible for themselves on a cosmic level.
I mean, again, maybe I'm neglecting the other side of the orderly duality, but I'm kind of the fan of let the people who get it congregate together in the same areas, co-create communities, and the people who don't just kind of whatever happens. I'm not into trying to keep these people here and these people here. I'm even for the crossover. If you somehow want to go from honorable, trustworthy, faithful walk to of enlightenment, so to speak, as a practice, over to nihilistic, do nothing, have nothing, be nothing, and just experience here, have at it. Just stay the fuck away from me and whatever community of people at that time chooses to co-create with me. I'm not into creating mechanisms to try to get the broken children of this realm to do what's supposed to be done. That has to come through authentic, organic change of heart through firsthand experience, right? If not, like I said, I'm willing to burn with the world. That's the risk you have to take.
Fair enough.
Did you just hear that?
Most of that is the answer.
Yeah, it sounded like a little glitch or something.
No, did you just hear that? I think there's an animal outside, like squawking and screaming. Hold on.
No, we can't. I can't hear that.
If I received what you said, and I do, And I that is a lot of the answer there, is finding those who are willing to do this work and bringing them together, which is why we're using the trust to develop farming communities where people can come together who really do want to authentically do this work. At a point of a critical mass, that is what would affect the rest of the more derelict individuals to move toward doing something positive.
All right, I'm back. There was an elk creature out there howling.
Were you able to hear what I was saying in between?
No, I did not hear you.
Oh, I was basically agreeing with you that the best answer and the best way to go about it is to bring together people who do authentically want to do the work, have reached the level of maturity that they want to do this to a tune of a critical mass, which is why we're using the trust in a big way to pick up land, bring together farming communities of people who do want to work in community and do this work, and that will, as a critical mass, affect those who are more derelict in doing it.
Right.
Spread power.
Not necessarily against that. I don't know if I'm necessarily for that. It would seem to me, again, maybe I'm giving too much credit where it's not deserved. Maybe I'm better than people or special, but I don't see it that way. I think that what people really want in this life, they will get. The question will be how much they will have to do and what it will take and how long it will take to create that or manifest that. So again, I guess for folks who are unable to do that, maybe they're disabled, that's kind of a different discussion, but I think most people are and have everything they need. They're just in their own way, if that makes sense. And that's what's true for me most of my life. So I may believe it's true for others, and maybe I'm just distorted on that perspective.
It does make sense. I believe you are a little more special than most people. As regards Mark, when you first started really hammering in on the whole more people to broadcast online, it was a little obtuse to me as well. And then I gave it some consideration, and it started to make a little more sense that if the rudiments of nonviolent, non-harm, natural law were spoken out and proliferated by more people, it would make somewhat of a difference. But I don't know that he's willing to take on, as you were saying, man on the land, non-involvement. While he's preaching his version of anarchy, he probably does engage with the state in the ways that you said. So there is that.
Well, yeah, that's the main kind of talking point for me, is his version of anarchy, because he's Mr. Objective Morality guy, yeah. and that we shouldn't be solipsists and subjective moralists. So then I go, well, can we then ascertain an objective line of conditions for what an anarchist actually is? Because if it's no masters, no slaves, well, I mean, you shouldn't be following statutes, policies, and codes then, and you shouldn't be a debtor as much as you could avoid it, presuming you could avoid it at all here. I mean, I guess that's when then you would come in with the argument that the prince of the ether, or what they call the shaitan or the Lucifer, I guess there's many different ways of interpreting that, the master of this world or the god of this world. But again, I contend that the god of this world steps aside at certain points through the journey for the calling of the Most High, so to speak. So it's almost like it's the henchman. It's God's henchman, essentially, is the way that I look at it. God doesn't want to bear the liability of doing the dirty work. So it has the Luciferian archetype do all of the sort of testing and challenging from the dark aspects of creation, while not it's associated with but not affiliated with, or I guess the other way around. It's affiliated with but not associated with, right? People see God and the shaitan as separate, when I tend to believe it's all one mechanism, right?
Okay. I have a more structured understanding of all that, but in simple effect, I concur to most of that. And, just for what it's worth, Mark charges $500 for that course. And he does work his entire back end through donation. So he's smart enough to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't see, if you're actually doing your life's work and you really believe in what you're doing and you've been shown good faith value, what's the need to charge? A perfect example is someone who's never found the need to charge for anything, because good faith, honorability, and actually putting out value brings back value. Turns out it's a universal law. So I don't see how someone could talk about universal law and then not want to engage in it. You're selling yourself short. Do you know how much more fulfilling it is to get up every day and do what you do because you love to do it and you're getting better and better at it and never ask for a motherfucking thing and then have shit show up? It's way better than asking for a fee at the door.
I do, because I've lived like that, and I can see you totally there in regard to him. And as regard to Jack McCaig, the guy who made the trust that I shared with you, it was the same thing I said to him. You got to start considering how important this document is and what it means for people and the depth of understanding you have. You got to stop charging money. It's ridiculous. It's a violation of the very thing that you're promoting, to charge money for these things. I'd say the
all
same
it is
thing to
an
Mark.
indication he really doesn't believe in what he's putting out, or he hasn't seen the blessings that God has in order. Because if he had, like I have, he wouldn't feel the need to do that. When the day comes that I feel the need to do that, my work and my time here is done. You know, essentially, because all that really is a representation of is you ain't putting out enough value because you ain't getting it back. Don't hate the fucking player or the game. You know, just switch up your fucking moves if necessary.
You have 100% agreement from me there. I totally agree with you. So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like folks get frustrated and discouraged at some point because they realize the masses are never going to take in anything that you don't charge them for. Because in their world, if you're giving away for free, it must not be worth anything. While they'll charge you $150 for a white T-shirt just because Kanye put it out with nothing on it, right? So again, you ain't appealing to the masses. You ain't trying to do business with the slaves. Right. I know there are folks out there who I've dealt with who see value as value. It's got nothing to do with how much you put on this with it. For me, in my world, once you put this on the value of what you're doing, you've demeaned it. If I had everyone show up here and give me $1,000 to do what I'm doing, I'm basically saying that this life-changing truth is only worth $1,000. See, I'm in inversion land. I may as well be. Because in these people's world, shit ain't worth nothing until you put a dollar amount on it. In my world, once you put a dollar amount on it, it's not worth nothing. See? The real and the true is eternal. It's an invaluable. Once you put a dollar amount on it, you must not really be in touch with the same thing I am. You must be a little confused about what the fuck we're doing here.
Fair enough.
And again, maybe that's just my perspective. Maybe he knows. Go ahead.
No, I feel like you're totally correct there, and I concur with you. The last little bit I wanted to throw in there, and you can put me backstage, and I've said my piece for today, is I just really wanted to acknowledge you and thank you for even throwing Mark's name out there. When I found that you were doing this back in late April, May, and was watching, you know, and what's his name? Is it Brian Young? High Impact Flicks? Is that his name?
Yeah.
His name's Young, Brian Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Keep
and
talking.
What's his name? Chili DeCastro, Jose DeCastro. When I found these guys somewhere around January and started listening to their content, I was like, these assholes 100% never would have come up with this vernacular in their life. It's trademark signature Mark Passio vernacular. And these two and their grift and their con would never have had the wherewithal to come up with this language, and they won't credit him. They won't acknowledge that he exists, and they won't say his name. And I was very proud of you and pleased that at least you'd say his name. Because it's all Mark Passio.
If we're going to do that game, there's a lot of people running around who all of a sudden started acting, talking, speaking, and presenting like me. Have you not noticed that? I have. I've noticed folks get haircuts even, shorten their hair, start to pop out the box more, be more comedic, take more risks, curse people the fuck out, and say, hey, take it or don't. So you can't stop an idea whose time has come, right? Paul is Mark Passio. Mark Passio is Paul, is Brian Young, is DeCastro. The question is, how much are we in alignment with that higher self or that lower self or not, right? And I mean, that's just kind of how I see it.
And that's it. I just wanted to give you a shout out back that at least you said Mark's name, because he's been around for 15 years, broadcasting into the field, influencing it.
I'm not a hater, bro. That's the thing. I'm not a hater. Like I will put people out there and go, hey, I respected them for certain things. I've looked at what they've done. I see value in what they do. And then we address where the fucking break off happens with all of them. Because it's with all of them. Every one of these influencers, content creators cannot resonate with me completely because they won't actually walk this shit on the ground. They got presentations and packets and fucking all the rest of it. But when it comes time to go into court and sitting in that fucking bullpen, they're nowhere to be found. That's concerning to me.
You know, unfortunately, like you heard the guys go through with me last time, and it was a fair assessment. I don't have stuff recorded, but I've stood and done this in court. You know, pulled basic style allocution. Said before I knew any more, before I had Jack's work. After I got Jack's work, I did it to a higher degree. I drove with no plates. I'm not doing it now. There's a whole backstory to that. I need to get back into it, but I have walked it as a plain man on the land. I have done it. I understand the mechanisms to it, and I hear you. I'm just shouting you out and applauding you that obviously these guys are carrying the broadcast of Mark's material, and they wouldn't say his name. It's like it's kind of a joke that Brian wants to come on there.
I don't
and talk
necessarily
like that.
see the connection, but I did just make a connection to these folks and myself, so that might be my ego.
Yeah,
I see them more acting like me at times over time than I see them acting like Mark Passio. But again, maybe that's my ego projection.
Well, before I saw you doing this and I had first found Chili and Brian, it was just like, these guys are just using Mark Passio's language. And maybe you brought it to them. Maybe Mark took some of it from you in the field. Who knows?
Well, no, it's more likely that Mark Passio and I, being East Coasters and being pretty much from the same place and the same age group and kind of the same, I guess, intellectual capacity and emotional trauma-based kind of upbringing, it kind of is just a 1-for-1, like, similar personality type. And I'm sure some of his sort of beingness and countenance has rubbed off on me in a way, and maybe even vice versa. I'm not going to give myself credit for that because he's kind of been who he's been, just like I've kind of been who I've been as long as we've been here. I mean, I'm apparently not even as self-aware as I think I am, because I went to my father rather recently and I go, I remember myself being a rather reserved young person, right? I wasn't always like loud and abrasive and obnoxious. And he goes, I don't know what you were experiencing. So, I mean, again, when I ask him and people around me, they confirm to me that this is who I've pretty much always been. The information's updated, the experience is updated, but the persona, the personality, the presentment is pretty much what you see is what you get, right? And then I guess when you put a camera on, it becomes a bit expounded. It's kind of just the nature of what this is. It's like, I'm sure Mark Passio is not quite Mark Passio online as he is at the bar. It's similar, but not necessarily the same, unless you, I guess, piss him off or get him activated and riled up. It's like being on, right? When we're on camera, we're kind of on more than we are off camera in a sense, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not far away from either of you. I spent grew up in between Hartford, New Haven, and Danbury, Connecticut, Waterbury, Connecticut, basically. Where in New York are you from?
Long Island.
Long Island. So, Connecticut, same water almost,
Yes, but no. You guys come to get the drugs from us and then we rob you on the way back.
Fair enough. But, okay. Well, that's what I wanted to bring in today. If you want to go deeper at some future point into some of these premises and ideas on the higher cosmic level, I'd be happy to. I don't want to take up any more time today.
I'm open to it, man. Yeah, Connecticut's kind of like Long Island without the low life edge of whatever is on the end. Like Long Island's a bizarre place, man. People, you tell people Long Island and they'll have an image one way or the other. It's either like ghetto New York City right there by Queens, or it's like a farm or a beach, out in the middle of nowhere. It has everything. So I'm sure Connecticut's the same way.
I was saying, Zach said, have you ever been to Bridgeport or New Haven?
Yeah, no, I'm just teasing you, man. There's people in fucking Connecticut who, everywhere you go, like they say, there's low lives, there's criminality, there's uppity sort of sophistication and civilization. So I'm sure it's one and the same,
Well,
Mitchell, what do you got? Let me get to Mitchell here. You're monopolizing. I know that you got a lot to say just like me, but I got other people here.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, I got to acknowledge these people. Mitchell's a regular.
Yeah.
This is like his cheers here. I appreciate you, man. Hey, get a hold of Passio for me. I want to fucking get into it with him. I want to have a back and forth.
If I could get a hold of Passio, I've talked actually just quickly to his help. I've talked to 2 different secretaries.
Why is he so hard to get a hold of? Is my question. And I'll give you an answer if you want it. I answer my own questions here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
got
'cause he's
folks
kind of a
around him who go, we really
hypocritical
want you to
bitch.
talk to him. I go, I really want to talk to him too. Why can't you guys get him face to face with me? What's the deal? Right? I go, anyone can get a conversation with me to the point where Snafu Snaps is in my mailbox. I'm so the other way with it. I go, why are you guys not at all that way? It's a bit concerning. I get it that I'm crazy and insane because I entertain people who probably shouldn't be entertained. You don't entertain people who are doing your walk more than you are. It's kind of concerning.
Well, I believe on one level he only wants to do shows with the Alex Jones and David Icke type for the clout that it brings him.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Oh, I just want to get the message out, but it's gaslighting the audience because you only want to get you want to be the hero. You want to be on these big shows that give you the clout. But I had a friend who was connected to his secretary there in Delaware. I've asked to debate him. If you really believe you're so confident and so sure that you could handle debating me, I mean, I've been in the alternative media. I've been on big podcasts over there. People know who I am. I've asked to debate him for years, and he just avoided it like he doesn't.
Yeah, you got to gamble, man. These people, like you said,
I agree.
They want the big name and the big platform. I've already seen what that feels like. Yeah, it's a high and it's exciting, and you feel like you've arrived. The other part of you goes, now it's time to light a match. The little snafu in you kind of pops up to go, and you can call it self-sabotage and self-defeating, but really it's kind of honorability and integrity. Just because you're in the room with people with names and numbers and money, don't think you're going to stay there either, right? People want to hang on to these things because they like how it feels and don't want to let it go, and they sacrifice the truth to do that. You don't want to live like that. At least I don't, right? So when I get in these rooms, I'm like, okay, cool, we're here, we're moving, we're shaking, we're getting numbers, we're getting the thing out. It's about me. And then the other side of it is now I got to drop a bomb in the room at some point. It's got to happen. I almost don't feel comfortable with myself until I do that. And I may long game it. I may do 2, 3, 4 interactions with somebody. And then on the 5th, jump out the box and go, hey, I'm coming for everybody, including the host. I don't give a fuck. It's got to happen, right? For what's true and what's correct and what needs to happen on the timeline, as you said, I got to jump out the box and make an enemy out of myself if necessary because no one else is doing it. That's concerning to me. People are getting deceived by the limelight, deceived by the camera and the attention, deceived by the money and the opportunities. You don't want to live like that. At least I don't. I'd rather at some point go back to working as a valet or something and go, I had a great run doing media on my own level. I had a great experience, great time. Now I'm over here doing this now. And I said and did everything I needed to do. I didn't leave anything on the table, that went unsaid, right? I'm that guy in life. I'd rather everybody go to their death knowing I said every fucking thing and then some, and nothing went unsaid. I almost never have regrets. I've left so much fucking money and pussy on the table and I never look back because I got to say everything the fuck I got to say just so we know where we're at. If it causes me to lose whatever the fuck's not meant for me, all the better. I look at that as a form of protection at times. That's why I tell Snafu Snaps, you ain't got to tell me what to do with Brian from High Impact. Just let me do what I do, bro. Because at some point, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to be on wherever, and that reefer's going to be hitting me a certain way, and I'm going to be sick and tired of the slavery, and I'm going off on everybody on what's true and correct, and I'm holding everybody to the same standard. You don't have to tell me not to pogo. It's fucking my nature since day one to go against the grain. If it's about what's true and what's right. I don't play favorites. I burn my whole friends and family in front of the whole world based on what's true and correct. I don't play favorites. That is the code of honor. Like the mafia. I'll bring you in, I'll take you out, and I'll do it in front of everybody. You don't want to walk this walk with me? You don't want to address these certain things? You got to go. And I think that's the way we got to be. And guess what? 3/4 of people are never going to receive you well being that kind of guy. They think you're like the enemy. You're the worst guy ever. You can't be nice, kind, polite. You don't know how to play well with others. Oh, well, those ain't my people. They just don't get it, right? They don't get what true leadership, honorability, and integrity is about. So I don't want them, just like they don't want me, right? It's got to be that way, man. And that's the thing, like I say, with all these content creators, I'm not buying it. Whatever they're selling, I'm not buying it. It's not translating. It's not coming across. I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing it. It don't even matter how many people you got. They can't sell it to me either. You got thousands of people saying this about you, pushing the numbers. All don't even matter how many people you got. I look at you, I watch, I see, I check the record. If it ain't there, then we got to get it right or we got to move on. So Yeah, man. I mean, if somebody's got the direct link to Passio, your boy Justin Padini there said he did, but there's always a caveat, right? They always come at me and go, hey, we want you to do this. And they know it's something I want. And they go, but you got to do this. And I go, no, I don't. I'm not joining your fucking network. Why do I have to join your? It's like the Bloods and the Crips when they came to me at some point and go, you should join us. I go, no, I shouldn't. Because right now I can go all over the city and I got no enemies and no problem. When you got shitty drugs, I can go get better drugs from them. If I join the Crips, I can't go to the Bloods for drugs no more. I got problems and enemies now. Right? It never made sense to me to join any groups anywhere because now you have to take on their obligations and their enemies. I don't need that kind of drama and I don't need that kind of beholdens, right? I don't need to be beholden to a group of people or to an idea. If we're all here for certain things and we're doing that, then we're here for those things and we're doing that. It doesn't require a group and an organization. This is what I could never understand. So why Mark Passio would supposedly be an occultist and understand all this stuff and then go make his own group and only filter people into it and leave everyone who's not a part of it out of the conversation to me is agency type behavior, right? You should be looking for any individual who's about what's true and what's right. And you should be willing to burn 3/4 of that great work network. How do you got a guy on there, Justin Padini, who's a comedian, who's not funny? Sorry, Brian O'Shea. How do you have a guy on there who's a comedian? That's why I don't have an organization, because then they'd be asking me the same thing. How do you got a guy? But the difference is Brian O'Shea's doing what's true and what's right. He's standing for the law, rights, and freedoms, and he's got courage. You got a comedian who's never been on a stage over there. I'm Justin Padini. I do comedy from my kitchen. It don't work that way, bro. You know, and then you're on the One Great Work Network, but you haven't done anarchy. You haven't stood for rights. You don't. What is this? You guys just replaced Hollywood with some F-list, non-celebrity, loser failure cast of nobodies who are now supposed to be known for something because you got a name and a face with a few 100,000 people. Give me a fucking break, man. It's vomitous what the ego and pride will do to a motherfucker. I know because I've had to watch me.
Defective mental apes.
Right. I know you're right. Let me use his shit on him now. And then he's going to say, keep my fucking name out of your mouth. I love when he talks like he's big and tough too, right? Like 150 pounds. How big is this motherfucker? Not that that matters. I mean, there's a couple of people out there I know will put it on me.
Probably like
lives.
He's 6 foot even. And when I met him, he was much heavier and heftier. Now he just believes he's trained in martial arts and he's lost all the weight.
He believes he's talking shit now. He believes he's trained in martial arts. He's a hop keto master like Cage. Oh man. Defective mental apes. That's what this majority of this truth community is. He wasn't wrong. He might be one of them. That's what I always say. You might be right, but you also might be one of them.
Scumbag, demented, defective fucking mental apes. That's what you guys are in the freedom movement. You're morons. Everywhere, you're morons.
Oh, I love it.
Just might be one of them, though. All right, where the fuck was I at, man? What was I even doing before?
You're going to go to Mitchell. Wanted to get to
We
Mitchell.
interrupted Passio to talk about Passio.
No.
Yeah,
Ben interrupt you checking on Mitchell.
What?
Ben, you wanted to have Mitchell fucking say something. He hasn't said a word since he's been here, and so that's where we're at.
Yeah, you're
Am I
right,
wrong?
Brian O'Shea. Why don't you take over more? Run the show, man.
I came to check
Seriously,
on
take
you,
over.
Roche.
Take over, Brian O'Shea. I like when you take charge and run shit. You're the man of the hour anyway. Let's go. I'll yield to you, which is very uncharacteristic. I'm sure that feels good.
Yeah, what's up, Mitchell?
What's up, buddy? Are you in Boulder still?
Am I what?
Are you in Boulder still?
Nah, Boulder, I was just doing a job over there. But you had me thinking it'd be cool to go over there because cupcakey they are, how accommodating they are. It seemed like I could fuck some of them hippies. They'd be like, oh, we don't care. We're open-minded that you're old and weird looking. That's how we roll in Boulder. Well, young asshole, fuck you. But anyways, it's not about me, dude. What you got going on?
I'm just
I'm just trying to stay out of the city and stay out of trouble. I've been rocking my private plates. It's been working out. I had a cop yesterday checking him out. He called his buddy. I don't know who he called, but I could overhear him a little bit of what he was saying, and yeah, so they decided not to interact with me. It was pretty interesting, and had a state patrol behind me, didn't pull me over, and they're like the most
Where are
aggressive.
you at?
Colorado.
Yeah,
I'm
but
up in
you're
the
near.
mountains. I'm heading
So you're. Go ahead.
southwest, like down by Durango.
So what'd you do to get the private plate?
I paid like $18. Just got it on the internet.
I was thinking about doing that too.
I was able to custom design it and make it
Do you
how I
got
want.
do you got
I
like a
made it.
UCC code on it or anything, or like you
No,
say
it
like
just says
non-commercial
private.
or
It just says private property, no trespassing.
nice?
And it says that real small.
Okay.
So it's not like outstanding. It's not right there in your face. It looks like a legitimate tag to a state neighboring. It's just like considered a vanity plate or whatever. So yeah, it's they have the template that's already made out for you if you want, or you can just design your own completely from scratch. And so I decided just to go with one that looks, kind of recognizable. And
Are they made
so,
by prisoners? You ever hear that prisoners make license plates?
yeah, I've heard that for the state, but this isn't a state sponsored site.
It's literally just a
You
plate.
know, I hear there's a prison program they're running now where the prisoners actually write jokes for failing comedians. They're in there working like tirelessly.
But yeah, I saw a guy recently.
Nothing on that.
So it's like
Yeah,
the
nothing.
fucking
All right.
arrest all over
Continue.
I seen a guy recently created a plate like that, Mitch, and he put the UCC code as his license plate like number, and then under it had non-commercial and something else. But I thought that was
Yeah, I
pretty
just
interesting.
don't. I'd just rather not get into all of that. And I
Right, it was
honestly,
just like
if I did it differently, I probably wouldn't even label it private property.
right. It's just a code that said like, "Hey, I'm not contracting with you." It's like the code that says that basically, "Hey, I don't contract with, officials or I don't know. Basically, don't contract with anyone. Period." Type shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get the idea. I just don't see. I don't like that idea because it's kind of confrontational. For one, and and for another, it's like using their language against them, and that's not really kind of your place.
right. Would you be willing to show yours?
Yeah, I can go grab it.
Sweet. You're muted, Brian.
Oh, thanks. How far is that? Anyone know where that Durango is? Whatever. A few hours from Denver or something.
It's like it's Southwest Colorado.
That's where I got arrested.
How many out? Oh shit! With the Homeland Security.
I've been at this point arrested all up and down that whole corridor, tri-state, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, that whole fucking southern corridor, even up to Denver. But yeah, man, that's the point. It doesn't matter where you are doing this. You're probably liable to have contact with policy enforcement and courts. This is what it is. But yeah, I think it was what was the name of that place? Pagosa Springs, Colorado, which I think is Durango adjacent, because I wound up, I think, on Durango, or Durango might have been where the DHS guy was from. I just know that came up in the conversation somehow, somewhere.
That's a wild one, man.
All right, let's
Give me your
watch some
guns back.
governance to see what's liable to happen to us one of these days. It is possible. Can't deny it. We're not manifesting that, but This is a new thing now too. Like people running at cops with knives. I'll never do that. Well, I'll never again say what I'll never do, but I don't plan on ever running at cops with knives unless I want to die that day. And of course, I'm not suicidal. Not homicidal either at this time. I want to be clear. I want to be clear on that. Yeah. There's 3 of them here. All right, let me see. I just had it. I just had one with a knife. This is my new. Okay, there it is. What are you saying?
Nothing. Never mind. Carry on. Sorry.
Right now, possibly Oklahoma. There's
Oh no, this was that kid from yesterday, Timothy Michael Randall. Yeah, that was a shame. I don't even know what I'm doing here, Brian O'Shea.
You know what they said. You know what? I was looking up that one from yesterday because it disturbed me so much, and I guess the lawyer's statement is that like, oh, it was a crack pipe that he put in his pants, and when the cop was feeling around, it felt like the butt of a .22, which criminals and drug dealers often use because it's easy to compact. But he still did the same thing though.
It was obvious. It was obvious to any drug addict or criminal what that kid was doing. He didn't have a gun. He had drugs. It was obvious he would put something into his crotch to try to hide it. It was drug related. It was obvious just by looking at it, man, because I've been in that situation at one point. You know, he's going to claim that kid reminded him of a drug dealer and that he had a gun on him to protect his drug stash. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, it's that temporary plate that freaked the cop out because, like the kid said, he stopped completely at that stop sign. He was probably following everything, all tweaking and shit off the crack. But anyways, dude. But the cop did the same thing. He goes, "Hey, buddy, you okay?" Like when they shoot him, they go, "Just we're here. Breathe, stay with us." Like
knife wielding man, O'Shea. Very disturbing.
Whoa.
What did that say, Mitchell?
Hold on, I'll show it in a minute. Mitchell's out there making plates that look like Colorado plates too. He's really looking for trouble.
I think it's in Kansas.
Hey,
It's got green mountains and shit on it.
this one right here.
Who's that back there? Who is that? That's not a real plate. This is what it's gonna look like on body cam. I'm pretty sure he's got a fraudulent plate. He's a Southside terrorist. We're going in.
We smell marijuana.
Got crumbs on his shirt. He smells like urine. We're going in. Actually, we're going out. You gotta go. Shoot him and let's leave.
Sprinkle some crack on him.
Put him out of his misery. He's drinking his own urine. Put him out of his misery. Come on, man. Oh, yeah, we're about to fucking violate some rights here. Private property, what's that?
21 Charles, 20 boy. Can you reconfirm the apartment number?
Off the door.
10-4. It's maybe up above one.
See, you're doctoring me. I'm gonna have to get Slave Link.
Man, I don't know where Sully's at.
Hey, stop! Stop right now!
Knife wielding guy.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
What's the point of running down the stairs with a knife in your hand?
Drop the knife!
Sure, suicide.
Ryan O'Shea, don't ever do that, all right? Don't ever come down the stairs with a knife like that. Kitchen knife.
Tripping.
He's got a sub sandwich.
I'm a comedian. It's just a bit.
The phone call, the 911 call was his brother saying that he was huffing ether or something.
Huffing gas.
It's Ian. It's Ian. Ian ratted him out. My cousin's huffing gas in the next room.
You piece of shit. I'm fucking sick of you.
It looked like he was scared and he slipped and fell down the stairs. But his back was turning to the cops.
I got serious fucking lag and interference over here. I think we're going to call it. I'm going to call it. Give me the final words. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to have to get fucking Slave Link now. They're already blasting me with the waves anyway from a satellite. I may as well tune into it. Got to do a broadcast. Who cares if I get cancer? Probably already have it anyway. Sorry, I'm being negative.
You're actually going to get Slave Link?
The microphone's on. What?
You're seriously going to get Starlink?
Dude, they fucking lit the whole
works.
town on fire over here. They shut down the fucking internet services. I have a secondary piece of equipment that works off phone signal. They're fucking with that, you know.
Yeah,
so what am I going to do? I got to go full Elon. I got to go Slave Link.
Put it on a pole.
They're already broadcasting the frequencies on me right now. They're hitting me right now. May as well tune into them and get good internet. No.
Remember we used to when we were making fun of Moose for having Starlink.
I was making fun of Moose for having Slave Link because he bought it and it didn't work. If I get Slave Link, it's going to work, or they're going to take it back. He kept it and it didn't work, and he pays for it. That's the dumbest thing ever. That's what beta males do. They pay $500 for this fucking equipment, pay $100 a month, and then can't host a broadcast. And then go, well, I got to keep it now for the next 2 years. You think I'm going to do that? I'll be right on the phone with Elon, using common law on him. Causing me loss, Elon. Get it together. All right, everyone's lagging. You guys are all freezing on my end. This is a terrible experience.
For real.
Not fun. Yeah. Ryan O'Shea's frozen right now. Mitchell's frozen. Mitchell McConnell.
Cam down, Mitchell. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, you might just
There
want
you
to
go.
refresh the browser. But yeah, I will.
You should probably cam down too, Paul. Maybe it'll help. I don't know.
Oh, fuck you.
Final words.
You cam down. I'm the star of the show. Paulie DeCastro. We don't stop.
Did you cover that Carolina and Fort Worth news?
O'Shea, what the hell is that? Who are you in the bathroom?
No, I was saying I was going to try to say I want. What does it sound like?
You sound like flushing toilets, people sneezing and shit.
Is that from me? I'm in a fucking Taco Bell. You said the most delicious fucking potato taco. Anyways, fucking, what the fuck was I just gonna say? Damn it. Lost it now. Fuck. Alright, someone fucking take over, dude. My brain broke. Got nothing.
The end of the world. The What on Earth is Happening IPFS project is still ongoing. whatonearthishappening.com/IPFS. You're way on the left-hand side of the Dunning-Kruger effect graph, folks. That's where you guys are at. You guys are here. Go and look at the map. You'll figure out where you're at finally. I know most of you don't know how to read a map, and you certainly don't know how to read a mathematical function graph.
Lowlives.
You know, you don't even know what that fucking means.
Low life.
You know, because you flunked out of fucking arithmetic class in nursery school, let alone understanding anything beyond that. That's why you guys think the fucking Earth is flat and fucking the sun and moon are orbiting above a fucking disk. Part of the reason is because you don't know how to read a fucking function graph. Believe me, it's part of the reason. You guys flunked out of fucking nursery school because you shit in your fucking diaper and then fucking ate it. That's how fucking dumb you guys are. And I said I was going to basically make my own version of the graph, and this is a borrowed version. I didn't make this, but I am going to tack on some things to it in the next couple of builds, which is going to really explain the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect, as you can see, when people have no knowledge, expertise, or wisdom, they become ultra confident and ultra certain that they're correct. So when they're packed all the way to the left-hand side of this graph, and almost all of humanity certainly is, and almost all of you guys most certainly are, you think you're right because you're a jerk-off, jackass, low-life fucktard that doesn't know anything. You're a know-nothing fucktard that hasn't really read into things a lot. You doom scrolled a few fucking memes in your black fondle slab. So while you're fucking doom scrolling up your own ass with your fondle slab, right? You're doing shit like this. You're like, whoa, I saw a meme there. Oh, I'll stop right there. This meme said it's all just the Jews. Oh my God, I know everything. Let me go shit post about this now, right? Oh, let's doom scroll a little more. Wait a minute. It's all the Freemasons. I gotta go and shit post about the Freemasons. Now let's doom scroll a little bit more on the black fondle slab before I shove it back up my ass. Oh my God, it's all the Jesuits. I know everything that I need to know. Let's put up a nice high-rise luxury hotel up at the summit of Mount Stupid and shove my fondle slab way back up my ass. That's what you guys are. Almost all of you, with the exception of a few. And if it ain't that, it's Passio's an agent because he's not a flat earther. You're damn right, I'm a flat sunner, president and founding member of the Flat Sun Society. I mean, you guys fucking saying the sun is a fucking ball, you ball sunners. Fucking agents over here, ball sunners. Wow, man. I'm telling you guys don't understand anything about the cosmos. Most of all, natural law. Because you're ill-educated, non-spiritual ludtards. They want to think the whole world is unidimensional and it's one group and the fucking earth is flat. And you guys have no understanding of fucking reality whatsoever. And, go fucking give your complaint to someone else because I'm not interested in hearing your nonsense and your bullshit. Stop proselytizing your religion to me.
Did you say something, O'Shea?
No, I was just giggling a little bit here and there.
All right. You're all right.
I'm not in your bullshit religion. I'm not in your bullshit cult. You're a member of a fucking cult. You don't think that you are, but you're a member of a fucking cult. What on earth is happening is not a fucking cult. What on earth is happening is the death of all cults. That's what this whole movement is. That's what this whole plan to fucking get out of all cults' influence. It's to break the fucking cult of atheism. It's to break the cult of religion. It's to break the cult of flat earth. It's to break the fucking cult of government. It's to break the fucking cult of authority. Break them, bring them down to their fucking knees, exterminate them all. Because all religious thinking is what holds humanity back from true freedom. You guys don't understand what the truth is. You guys don't understand what true freedom is. You don't know what fucking rights are. You don't know what objective morality is. You don't know what true spirituality is. You don't know what natural law is, and that's why you're going to remain slaves for fucking ever. Almost all of you are in that condition. You're either just low-life scumbag religionists or low-life scumbag atheists or low-life scumbag fucking know-nothing people who don't know the first fucking thing about the first fucking thing. And that's why you're going to be slaves for all time and forever. So enjoy your fucking slavery. I tried to help you out of it. I tried to fucking do what was right. You guys don't want to listen. You're unteachable slobs, is what almost all of you are. With the exception of a piss poor too few, which ain't going to cut it and ain't going to get the job done. And that's why don't look for the world to ever get any better. It's headed into total and complete fucking doom. That's where the world is headed, on the trajectory where it's at now. Don't expect it to improve. You can't improve it until the mind and the heart of the people of the fucking world improve. And there's no signs that those things are improving. You guys don't even know what fucking care is. You don't know what true agape is. You don't know what true spirituality is because you haven't listened. You're poor fucking students. You bring your bullshit religions into everything that comes after. And you can't learn because your mind's already full of shit. Your mind is full of liquid shit. And you can't empty it because you don't know how to turn your fucking bullshit religious thinking off. You don't know how to fucking let new information in. You're stuck on the fucking peak of Mount Stupid in this graph thinking that you know everything when you don't know shit. The only shit you know is the shit in between your fucking ears right here. That's what you fucking know. And you just think you know. So this is my addition to the Dunning-Kruger graph. Let me make that build one more time. In my estimation, about 92% of humanity lives within this area of the graph. And again, to even put it underneath, it's not really explaining it right. They're somewhere on that red line there, about 92% of humanity that encompasses from the very 0 point down in the bottom left corner up to where the line, the bright red line intersects the edge of that 92% fill under the graph. That's this isn't going to show this to scale, obviously, but I'm going to estimate about 92 or so % of humanity lives on that section of the curve, which is called Mount Stupid. And I might be being generous. It might be far higher than that. Okay? These are my estimates based on a very profound understanding of where human consciousness is actually at. And if you're being honest with yourself and you tell yourself the truth and you don't bullshit yourself like New Agers do about how wonderful and flowery everything is, you realize almost all of humanity are a bunch of fucking retarded clown children. You're clowns. You're traumatized little fucking kids. You never grew up. You never did your fucking homework. You never fucking really took in any knowledge. You think you fucking know, and you don't know shit. And that's where you guys live. You live on Mount Stupid. And most people who live there stay there until the day they die. They don't make progress. They don't come off of it to the right and start really gaining some more knowledge and some more wisdom and some more expertise. And their confidence drops initially, then it goes back up after they gain even more knowledge. And the problem is most people never come off Mount Stupid. They stay there until the day they die. And that's most of the audience that I'm speaking to in these later episodes. That's the entire political movement. That's almost everybody in the whole fucking country and world. It's all the people who don't understand real cosmology. It's all the people who don't understand natural law. It's atheists. It's fucking people who worship government-funded science. It's just about everybody.
Low
And again, it's probably far higher than 92%. I'm being very generous. Then when you have people who do gain a little bit more knowledge, but don't go an extreme, they don't go extreme into depth of knowledge. They're still at the area where you can call they've gained some knowledge. And that's about 5% of all of humanity. And they're living in a state of complete despair. This is called the Valley of Despair. And it's where I'm going to estimate 5 or so percent, give or take a few percent, are on that section of the graph of that function, where it says some expertise but low confidence. And this is why you have idiots with the loudest voices and then people who have gained at least enough knowledge not to be an idiot anymore, and they have no confidence in their ability to fucking put it out there, teach anybody, learn how to put it out there. These are all people who would never take how to become the true media. So we're at like 97% of humanity already that would never even consider taking one of my seminars, really taking to heart the information that I've been putting out there benevolently and completely freely, just to try to edify humanity out of the goodness of my fucking spirit, and only to find you guys are just unteachable students. You're just lowlives, and that's what you're always going to be until the day you die. Prove me the fuck wrong. Stop being a fucking lowlife. Prove me the fuck wrong. Actually learn how things work. Prove me the fuck wrong. Stop being a ludtard and a fucking retard and believe in nonsense that the fucking CIA shat down your throat. That's all you guys are. You believe every fucking psyop that comes down the fucking pike. And then you make real fucking experts in what's going on in humanity that study it from a scholarly perspective and try to present it to fucking other morons like yourself look bad by association with you, retards. I'm not in your fucking cult. I'm not a retard like you are. Let's get that straight. You know, but you say it like that, then I'm the bad guy.
Broken
I'm the
system.
bad guy
What's
for
going
just
on,
saying
man?
like one adult to another.
What's happening?
You have something, or you just hanging out?
I mean, I'm just hanging out. You know, it's a shame if you're having some issues with the lag and everything like that. But the video I did put in your backstage, I'm hoping you didn't watch it yet. Please don't watch the videos beforehand. But it's absolutely perfect if you play it. If not, you know, it's perfect anytime. But O'Shea's here, so I figured maybe, you know, he'd get a kick out.
O'Shea, what do you want? More Pop and Passio? It gets good. He starts like really freaking out in the audience, cursing them out, and then talking about how no one likes him anymore. A lot like me. I've lost 3/4 of my audience because I'm mean and angry and hold people accountable. You want Passio? You want Broken System at court? What are you looking for? You're the man of the hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I say we pause the Passio and go to Broken System. We'll get back to Passio later.
All right. There you go. Brian O'Shea making the executive call. All right, which one do you want, Broken System? I only got one back there. I never got to Snafu. He's going to be like really upset. I never got to this guy's panty videos. See, I said I'd come back to it. We never got to it. Snafu, you know what? I'm going to put it aside now. Yeah, it happened. I'm going to put it aside now. Let me see here. I'm eating, Brian O'Shea. I don't know if you could tell. I'm sure you're like thinking about how fat I am right now while you hear me eating.
No, I'm
something
worried.
negative about me.
I'm worried about you watching the video that I put in your backstage just because of how much you're gonna laugh for this. So please don't eat. Well, I'm not liable. I'm not liable. Legal disclaimer. I'm not liable if you choke watching this video because it is that hilarious. This is another one of like these arty guys, like these guys that know everything. He overthinks it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tones Overthinks It, the show where I think too much to make up for the people who don't think at all. Today, we're going to hear what happens when a sovereign citizen completely and utterly fails in court. Also, apologies in advance for the audio.
Adjourned again. So the beautiful
process. This is all while you're trying to explain to him his rights. Judge, I have not objected. I have not interfered. I have not in any way opposed the time you have taken with Mr. Lanto to walk him through the process, explain to him what he's charged with, as you're obviously supposed to do in an arraignment. I need to alert you to some information that I came across, in fact, the police department came across, Mr. Lanto was interviewed by Artie's Corporate Fiction channel, and it's on YouTube.
Get on up now!
If you haven't watched that, by the way, please go to Artie's channel and check it out. It is absolutely hysterical. And also be sure to check out his video covering this exact court hearing. I'm not a legal expert by any means. I'm just here to point and laugh at the stupid. But Artie can definitely give you a more in-depth analysis when it comes to defining legal terms and proceedings.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get back to listening to this.
Artie can totally give you more definitions and understanding.
Basically screwed bottom talker gets steamrolled.
Choice on the spot and on the fly that he was just going to turn this into a kangaroo court. He admitted to frustrating the process. He stated on at least 3 occasions during this interview that this is a kangaroo court, and once he called it a circus court. He advised the show's audience, Judge, that the closer to the arraignment phase that you can stay, the safer you are.
True.
The interviewer was questioning him, telling him to admit that he was playing dumb, and his whole purpose is to frustrate the process. Judge, I would tell you that it's certainly something that if you're interested in listening to, I can forward you the link to this interview. But I did want to bring this to your attention because it does seem to indicate that he is intentionally trying to stall the process and not really, quote unquote, not understanding it.
You're so screwed.
Well, I object to everything Miss Ameme just said. Can we put her under oath if she's going to testify?
Well, she's not testifying.
Right, but if she's good,
If that's information that's available to the public, Mr. Lanto, actually, I probably should put you under oath. See, you actually said those things.
Hey, can you just get me the video of you at court so I don't have to listen to this douchebag comment and then watch the fucking clips in between and oh my god, they got him.
yeah, I'll bring that one next time. But I just wanted you to hear him praising Artie because Artie is this fantastic lawyer on YouTube who apparently knows nothing about
Artie's a guy like Lauren who has no idea about Blackstone's commentary, no idea about corpus juris, no idea about American jurisprudence, no idea about common law, no idea about clauses of public safety in the Constitution and all the rest of it. Yeah, he's a regular fucking genius, that guy. He's lighting the world. You can tell just by looking at him, right? When you look in his eyes and look at the way he smirks and how he's so smug and arrogant, you know that he's intelligent. You know he's got all the answers. Yeah, that's always amazing to me. How they call other people stupid and ridiculous and then point to another guy who's completely moronic and has no understandings or explanations and can't even debate with me based on the foundations and principles and maxims of law. So, yeah, that's what they do. And then they go, well, we have a degree or we work at the court, so we have all the answers. And I go, you don't. You're mistrained. And your arrogance is your own undoing because you've ignored willfully a whole other aspect of your field and profession and the law in order to remain in good standing with your cronies and your buddies over there in part of your society. So, hey, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. Go ahead, Brian O'Shea. Direct this broadcast from a Starbucks.
I find it fascinating that they play these clips. Imagine you're in the courtroom and they're like, he had this Harlow 3000 on and he would just talk and ramble. You could set them up. You know what I mean? You could just clown them, dude. You could make something just hoping they fucking bring it in the courtroom to just make it a fucking complete fucking comedy sitcom, dude. It's fucking hilarious to me. Who's to say someone's not using satire? It's fucking entertainment. What the fuck are they talking about, dude? Searching these YouTube.
You get your hands off those children, Brian O'Shea.
How dare these people? How dare these people feed their children Taco Bell? What's the problem, dude?
Come on, tell them to keep it down, man.
You guys keep it down a little bit.
Tell those kids that Artie's name is on a court transcript somewhere. Tell them Artie from Artie. Ask them
that
if they
was a
know
good
who
move
Artie
right
from
there.
Artie's Corporate Fiction is. Ask them if they know who Artie is.
You guys know who Artie's Corporate Fiction is?
Oh my God! No.
They're ignoring me, dude. Hey, keep it down, all right? You kids are a little out of control. Make me spank you. I'm gonna get a charge.
That was great.
All right, I'm breaking up over here. This internet sucks. Give me the final. Back tomorrow.
All right, man. Thanks so much, Paul. Thank you, Stively, Benjamin, and everyone else who contributed yesterday. I forgot who you all. I don't have it in front of me. I'm gonna check on that car tomorrow. I'll have prices. See where I'll sleep tonight. Slept in a children's slide yesterday, but whatever. It's all good. Don't worry about that. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later. You guys are pretty cool. All right. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll just sign off and say thanks for having me up. Yeah, I'll fetch some videos without their annoying commentary. But yeah, it was nice seeing Mitchell, even if he looked like he was in a fishbowl. And thanks everybody for
Thank you
for accepting me and loving me for me. Thank you.
What, is everyone gone now? Okay, I'm breaking up here terribly. All right, I'm out of here, folks. Obviously, this is not a professional broadcast. That's clear. But I will be back tomorrow, somewhere between, 12 and 3, 12 and 5. Who knows at this point? Look for the notification. Mazel from out west, of course. They love that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Blessings to all. A special thank you to Auntie Leslie and the other contributors and supporters who are a blessing to I. Yeah, what else can I say? Blessings to Brian O'Shea. Hit up Brian O'Shea's Cash App. He deserves it. He's a good kid. Yes, he's 48, but I know. I've said that. He's still a good kid. We're going to get him out of that car. We're going to do a fundraiser one of these days and get him the hell out of there. I don't know. He seems to like it there, though. Weird like that. All right, say goodnight to the bag. I'm out of here.
Me, I always tell it, even when I lie. So say good night.